Hey guys, I'm Will. I'm a dad.
Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm a dad.
I'm Vinny. I'm also a dad.
My name's David. I'm a dad.
I forgot we were still doing
how
this.
long. I couldn't remember what we did to start the show, and I froze. This is a bunch of dads.
Hi, Dad.
Hi. How are you guys doing? It's been a while since we did this. I feel like maybe Thanksgiving was the last time, or Halloween.
Are your kids in college yet?
Yeah.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, I'm broke.
Funny thing happened.
I don't think I was here last time.
Oh, that's right. We did it was a subdued show.
What?
It was quiet.
Oh.
Peaceful. Was Gary here instead of you?
That couldn't
Did
have
we
been
play
subdued.
Gary
We
with
did
you?
have a Gary one.
Yeah.
I think we did one post that though too.
Maybe we just did more than 3 of us.
Might have been.
Yeah.
So fill me in. What happened
Our child grew up.
previously?
My child walks now.
Should we do the ages?
My
Does your child walk?
Yeah.
Walk?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That started this week. It's good. So Vinny, how old is Max now?
He's gonna be 2 in like weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, the awesome 2s they call it, right?
It's terrible,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome.
The best
Yeah.
2s. That's what I keep hearing.
Is it,
Great times 2s.
I found that to be a myth, by the way.
Really?
It was more terrible 3s.
Yeah, that's what everybody says.
Well,
Well, you have a daughter too, so it's a different pace, I think.
True.
But you're
Good
saying
day.
that you're pushing it off. You're saying even if I
there
think
is
it's
a
bad
terrible
now,
point.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It could get worse.
Oh, yeah.
Gina and I have been watching TV, and like we'll be watching True Detective, and she's like, "Wait, is these are parent issues, potential parent issues coming down the line. We have to do things to avoid these bad
Oh, like
situations."
you're caught up, or you're near caught up.
Yeah, we're one
Okay,
episode
yeah.
back, but
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even before that,
Yes.
it was scary.
Yeah.
Dave, your daughter is.
She's gonna be 1 right around the time yours is 2.
Yeah,
We
this is
just kinda
great.
Figured out.
We had to do this for the show. When we were planning a show, we said, "All right, I'll have
We're gonna
you.
lo-
You just wait a year, and then we'll have a year apart in space."
Yeah.
It's
You
a-
just had the year birthday party.
Your birthday was
and then-
a month and a half ago.
So now I've got the year birthday party.
Yeah.
And what we've decided was that basically the year birthday party
the
matters.
first year.
Yeah, then after that till like probably 5?
like 5 or
Doesn't
6.
matter.
I'm
Yeah.
saying
Till
It's
they
a-
have friends that
Yeah,
they
At
think
least
are
5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna hang out and eat hot dogs or something.
Well, the thing we realized about the 1-year birthday, the thing I realized, I don't know if Gina got there, but the 1-year birthday party was pretty much a Gina and Will party.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it just was the baby was an excuse.
Yeah.
The kid
And we
has
wanted a
no
good
idea
picture.
what's even going on at that point.
Oh, I'm going to tell you, that cake was a big hit. She hadn't had sweets before.
Right, but that's typical, too.
Yeah.
That usually is when a lot of parents will break it out.
Yeah,
That's
she-
when my daughter had chocolate for the first time.
Yeah, it blew her little mind.
And
She
how
was
old
just-
is your daughter?
But
Your little girl.
my little girl,
Yes.
she just turned 20.
Wow.
And she just started walking,
Months?
too. So just like, yeah, 20
Okay.
months. Yeah,
Wow.
20 fucking years old. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So that
So-
makes you at least, what, like 85 or
85.
90?
Yeah, it
Okay.
sure makes me feel 85.
Okay.
That's for goddamn sure.
At what point are you planning to start applying grandchild pressure?
Oh, my God. Not for like 20 years at least. Because I don't want to be a grandpa. I don't want
Oh, you'd be a good. You've been a
Well, I
grandpa
want
to
to
a lot
be
of people
one,
for a long
but you don't
time.
wanna
Sure,
be a
but I don't want to
grandpa.
know
Right.
I am one.
Right.
Right. 'Cause that just feels old, right? I mean, you're being a grandfather. My brother's been a grandfather for a little while.
So
now,
you're-
and he's younger than me.
Does that
Oh,
mean-
wow.
That means you're a great uncle?
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
I
You
guess.
are a
Yes.
great uncle.
I'm a great
You're an
uncle.
awesome
That
uncle.
that
Yeah.
feels. I'm a great uncle.
Rad uncle.
You've got a great marinara recipe right, hiding in you.
Yeah.
Not in my family.
When somebody
Right.
needs
Maybe you
advice
guys
about
do.
disposing of bodies, you're the one they call.
I'm the one.
Right.
that
You're the one for the
yeah.
birthday party. Go takes aside and gives him like a pocket knife or something.
Yeah, they're like, what? Wait, who is he again?
Yeah,
Here's some weed. Don't let your parents know I gave it to you.
that's how I could be the great uncle. Yeah.
My great uncle was a Detroit Tiger pitcher.
Wow.
Really?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Wow,
like
that's really cool.
Super crazy Italian. Like they were all the crazy Italian guys, and
Man.
he was just I think it was Uncle Cato.
My great uncle
Kato?
knew where every good restaurant on the East Coast was. And he also always stopped to read the plaques. Like when you're driving down the road and you'd see one of those historical markers
Yeah.
every fucking time, which I thought was terrible when I was like 10 and would go on trips with them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's awesome now. We would stop and pull over and read the sign. He'd take a picture of it. And I'm sure somewhere his kids have a book of all the pictures of all the plaques that he
Man.
stopped at. Yeah. It was just bananas.
I don't know. Great uncles.
No
I
great
guess I'll be
uncles?
the great uncle with the free video games.
There you go.
With the
Yeah.
big video game library.
Yeah, come over
Could
and
be
play
worse.
games.
Yeah.
But the saucy ones, right?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Take it
Night
off, Dave.
Trap.
Yeah.
Do you have a big deep collection of Sega CD video FMV games?
I don't. Mine go as far back as SNES games.
Okay.
I have those.
Okay.
But the saucy one.
I have a
The
Sega
sausage.
CD sitting at my home.
Really?
Yeah, like the actual, the original like stack on top one.
Really?
Yep.
Did you have that originally, or is this a late life purchase?
I washed cars an entire summer.
Wow.
And purchased the $300 device.
You probably
That's
charged
awesome.
not enough to wash the cars if it took all summer.
Well, man, you just didn't wash cars a lot, like every day.
That's probably more what it was like.
Yeah.
I was playing baseball and doing all that kind
Okay.
of fun stuff. But yeah, and then bought it, and then had Sewer Shark and Night Trap, and it blew my mind.
Did you get the
Think you had Night
32X
Trap?
too?
I did not, because at that point you were moving off to whatever. I think
Yeah.
I was probably I was always more a PC gamer at that
Mm-hmm.
point. But
Do you think as like a young kid, I know this is off the dot. Well, maybe this is not
No,
off
no,
the dot
applies.
topic.
Yeah.
As a young kid, you could get in touch with the toughs in your neighborhood and like give them shaving cream and eggs and stuff, and be like, you know, guys, my dad works at the deli or whatever. Here, just take this stuff, and then start a car wash business in your neighborhood as well, so that
Oh, you mean like work both sides?
Oh
of, like,
my
the
God.
Yeah.
so
That's
is this like a,
like you sell them like
this
shaving
is a
cream and
Tanya
eggs.
Harding
That's right.
bodyguard scam, right?
That's
It's not a
super
scam.
smart.
It's just it's just you're kind of working.
And oh
Wait, there was a
Yes, that's
movie.
the-
What was the movie where the kid?
the bodyguard.
yeah.
No, not that
And the
movie.
silk
There was
is
a movie
on
where
the
the
sword.
kid breaks windows with rocks because his dad has a window glass repair place.
Is this like a economical statement?
It's
'Cause
supply and
that's like
demand.
the-
There was a
Yeah.
movie that did
Yeah.
this. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah,
think about
Ayn
it.
Rand presents
Yeah.
the window breaker.
It's coming to Kickstarter soon. So yeah,
Kids,
Kids.
you know I love.
What are you
them.
gonna do with them?
I don't know.
a year. So we saw Max
Yeah, at
at
the
the
party.
birthday party. I hadn't seen him in a while. Probably
big
6
now.
months. He's like a little person now.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah.
I think he's real big.
I don't know how you lift him.
Jesse has a real tough time.
Okay.
Is he mobile?
Oh yeah,
Totally.
Yeah, he runs around and gets into everything. But he's really tall, so he gets into all the shelves and stuff now.
I was kind of surprised to see him on the roof, actually.
Yeah, doing like fixing.
Yeah, he just
Like,
climbed up there and started cleaning the gutters.
Just putting
It was
more
pretty
the hard
nice.
hat on.
Yeah.
tar paper down, and
Yeah.
well, you
Yo,
gotta teach him
Dad.
young.
Yeah. Go, Dad.
Yeah, he had his tank top on,
a belly, just like a
belly hanging out, and a 6-pack of Paps. So he's ready to go.
I had a kind of scary, weird dad frightening moment last night. He was in bed and he was super restless, and
He's in like a big kid bed
no,
now, or
he
he's
had
still in
come.
the
He had
crib?
come into our bed,
Okay.
right? So he's in our bed. So he's lying down between me and my wife, and he's like super restless, and he's way into trucks now, and he wanted to see pictures of cranes, right? Because we look at pictures of cranes on the iPad or something. And we're like, no, it's time for bed. Like, just-
I go back. When you look at pictures of cranes on the iPad, do you have like a specific truck and crane app, or you just go to Google image search and type crane
Google
and see
image
what
search and
comes
type
up?
cranes.
This is amazing.
I do this for
is a
everything. When he
great
wants to see
tip.
pictures of dogs, just go there.
Okay.
There's actually a YouTube channel called Truck Tunes where they have like trucks, and then the guy sings like really awesome MIDI songs underneath it.
Of course, there is.
We've been wasting our time. This stuff that we do is really hard.
Yeah.
And that sounds really easy.
Are
It's
you
like-
like buying books and stuff?
No, I mean making tested is hard.
Yeah.
Oh, this is hard. Oh, I see
I
what
could
you
just
mean.
go sit out in the
Oh, you
corner
mean
for like
professionally.
45 minutes and make a fucking truck
Oh, dude,
video all
It
day
took you this long to figure that out?
There are like
Jesus.
there are videos for cats and stuff of fish, and they have them for kids that are just like videos of construction sites, and you just sit there and watch.
And those people are making more money than you. So there you go.
I now know about impact loaders, front end loaders, backhoes, and I can sing most of the songs. They call them bulldozer.
Oh, you have to be
Oh,
able to
just
compose
keep
it.
going.
for short. Anyway,
Okay.
so what happened in bed?
Wow.
He's like, I want to watch pictures of cranes. I want to see pictures of cranes. I said, no, we're going to bed. No pictures of cranes. He was getting really upset, and I said, so close your eyes. And he closed his eyes, and I said, if you could see pictures of cranes, if you close your eyes and go to sleep. And I knew this was a high concept thing, right?
Uh-huh.
This is the first time we've ever approached like dreaming or sleeping. And he closed his eyes, and then he goes, crane in my head? And I was like, yeah. He goes, crane, get out! Crane, get out!
God.
Crane, get out! Get out, crane! And starts like kind of like clawing at his hair a bit. And Jesse's cracking up.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, no, there's no crane in your head. He's like, crane out, crane out, crane out. Want it, crane out. And it took like 10 minutes for him to like to try and then unravel this horrible nightmare I'd made of like, no, the crane's not actually in your head. Just it wouldn't fit. It doesn't.
You're lucky you weren't in a David Cronenberg movie.
Yeah, you put on some Allman Brothers.
The crane would actually be,
And eventually it's just like, here's my iPad. You want to look at pictures of cranes?
Put on scanners and let him go to sleep to that.
That was definitely the weirdest. Like, we're gonna try something here, and then have it.
so the
super
concept
backfire.
of dreaming or whatever, and not
not happening.
Yeah.
Well, those we're gonna try something moments are fun, like whether it's, hey, I'm gonna put you inside a cardboard box and see what the not like sealed. Just to be clear, it's like a fun activity,
I'm gonna
right?
FedEx you to grandma.
It's like a fort.
Yeah.
So you put her inside the cardboard box, and then you push the cardboard box around. Sometimes that's the best ride in the world,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's a ride full of horrors.
It's a nightmare ride.
Yeah, it depends on how many holes you punch for air. I guess I don't know.
Or how long you leave the box standing there.
Yeah, sometimes I put the dog in too, and the dog's not so keen on it. So
Does your kid have teeth yet?
no teeth.
Still no teeth. That was the craziest thing. So
No teeth?
Our
Yeah.
kids had a play date.
Yeah, they had a play date, but year-old, still huge, giant gummy smile.
She's got the no teeth cheeks.
Yeah.
and like her jaws compressed like an old man.
She's constantly smiling.
She's
a
a
smiley
happy baby. Yeah, we got the easy mode baby. I don't know what we did to deserve this, but
It's because there's no teeth.
Like, she
she's
sleeps
willing
and
the
eats.
teeth to not come in. She doesn't
Yeah.
want to ruin the good
Well,
time.
So the weird thing is she has teething pain for sure. Like her cheeks get really red sometimes. And like every once in a while she'll wake up at like midnight and scream for a little bit. We'll go in, give her the teething thing to chew on, and then she goes to sleep like 2 seconds later.
So they're coming.
Yeah, so you can see them.
Hopefully.
Like you can look into the
little
gums,
white bits.
but they've been there for 6 months like that.
Huh.
So the doctor didn't seem concerned about it. So we're
She's
just
taking her time.
Yeah.
it makes
the rush?
It makes talking super frustrating for her though, because she's trying to make like she knows. Like she definitely understands. It's amazing because you see, and I know you're seeing the same thing. Like you see her learn words, and you say, "Do you want water?" And she kind of gets excited and points, and she knows what that means. And then she tries to make the sounds, but all she can do is baws, and like anything that requires teeth doesn't work. Basically,
How about like solid foods?
we're deep into solids.
Okay. Is that what
Yeah,
the
the
pointing?
Pointing.
This is
Yeah.
a great game. Your child taught my child that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
My child does it as soon as I pick her up.
Just starts pointing at everything?
Immediately. She's got like her couple things. Yes, that's Balloon Buddies. Yes. V is for Veronica. Yes. That is a trash can. And then we just go around, and that's all she does all day.
The best part of it though is your reaction to it now is so instantaneous that like you
Like you're
could be
trained?
having a grown up conversation and there'll just be a no pauses break. That's a truck. That's a dog. and then we implemented the new PHP thing or CSS whatever and that's a car and it was super funny.
She's pretty funny.
Are you
But-
guys getting sentences yet at all, or like rudimentary 2-word sentences?
Occasionally
putting
we
a
are,
thing
right?
together with a thing.
Yeah.
Max can,
Two
yeah.
nouns.
Yeah.
Max is pretty good. He can. I like watching him try and piece it together
Yeah.
because he can definitely be like Max's water.
Right.
Mama have Max's water in the bed. What? Mama get
Mama wet
Max's
the bed?
water in the
Oh,
bed.
okay.
Like, oh, you want Mom to get your water and bring it in the bed? Yeah. So he'll put it together, which is fun.
It's really fascinating to
Yeah.
watch. Yeah.
And like it's almost like he's got a pencil in his mouth, or his tongue should be out there, just like thinking about it. Just
Well, she does the tongue thing now. She'll like if she's really
thinking.
concentrating on something hard, then it.
Does she get that from you? Is that,
I don't know, probably. My father definitely does it, so why not? The two sentences, the 2 words together, and we do the animal thing now. The what it sounds to animals make
gotcha.
game. I taught her. We've taught her cow and dog and.
I got a question
cat.
for you guys. What sound does the bunny make?
Boing boing is what
Oh,
the CNC
yeah, that's a
says.
good one. Yeah,
'Cause
I'd say
okay.
boing's
You say
good.
boing too?
Yeah.
Okay, we did nibble for a while,
That's good.
and then we
That
did
works.
boing.
I'll allow that.
But it's not what the
Boing is
bunny
bullshit
makes.
too, though. I mean, the CNC says boing boing boing. I was like, that is
Oh, really?
a fucking lie.
Right. Yeah,
They don't
Right.
make springy
'Cause that-
noises.
Right. And that noise only comes from cartoons anyway.
Yeah.
right.
Bunnies are virtually silent in the real world.
they don't bounce with a boing
No.
in real life.
They're just
As far as I know.
Swoosh.
Though I guess I've never seen a bunny bounce in real life, so maybe.
You've never seen a bunny? You are the cittiest city person I know.
Wait, no, you're saying
I've
a bunny
seen a
like
bunny.
Yeah,
I've never
you're saying,
seen
like,
one bounce
Right,
around.
like frolicking in the
Right.
Right.
Well, that's just the
So
way
maybe they
run.
do boing.
They don't boing.
I don't know.
No, they don't. I can assure you.
Okay.
I taught her that mom goes blah, blah, blah.
That's what mom says.
That's what mom says, which was super funny, except for it was her favorite thing for a while, and it was a little bit stressful.
Do you do they know that? Did they eat chicken? Your kids?
Yeah.
Did they when they see a chicken, it's the same word? Have they put
Oh,
together?
no, that's horrible.
Well, but like,
I mean,
No. Oh, yeah. No, not at all.
but as you say, do you want some chicken? Right?
Yeah, but she hasn't like figured out. I don't think she's at that comprehension yet, where she
Okay.
knows what meat that I'm putting in front of her. You know, it's like,
Okay.
hey, do you want some chicken? And she'll just be like, you know, the normal kid thing. Which is,
Just grab it and then shove it in her face,
fistful and straight in the
or just
Yeah.
off the side.
yeah, exactly. The good part is the dog has now learned. The dog likes the child a lot better because he is now just picking up whatever.
Oh yeah, we've gotten that, and they have a deal too. Like
Yeah.
she'll reach out and she'll look at you defiantly and be like,
Yeah.
"I'm going to drop this fucking food for the dog,"
Yeah.
and then just drops it, and you're
Yeah.
because the dog's going to fly up and take a
Doesn't
leave a
want to be
stump.
fed now at all. Has to pick it all up.
Really?
herself.
Oh, really?
yeah. Yeah, will not. The only thing she'll take is bananas in the morning, like from a spoon. The rest of it needs to like
Be mashed.
yes,
and
picked up.
Oh, we do. We dole out, so we put it on the plate and then transfer at a reasonable pace so that she doesn't just grab like fistful after fistful.
Yeah, that's what we
and end
do.
up with like the big swollen.
Sometimes
cheeks.
we'll put pasta down or something.
Yeah.
She'll go for the grabs, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, we just do grabs. I'll put a fork there and he'll just like fling it.
Yeah.
You know, it just goes like all over the place and then it's just hands. But he hates having his hands clean. I've started just asking. I think I'm trying to get too reasonable with the kid because I'll just be like, "Do you want to do it?" Like, yeah, and then just give him a napkin and be like, "Do it," and just sit there and wait until he cleans his own hands.
The thing that helps us is we have her wash our hands. So if you give her a towel
Yeah.
and you're like, "Hey, will you wash Dad's hands?"
Yeah.
Then she'll wash your hands,
Right.
and then she sticks her hand and you scrub it
Right.
off real
Oh,
quick.
that's good.
Oh, that's
Yeah, we try that one too, but then
I think she'll wise up eventually.
I've started just asking questions a lot more because Max is also a pain in the ass, like a huge, just like mother effing pain in the ass,
You
like
can say the F word here.
super
okay.
farty pain in the booty. This is a dad cast. You're not supposed to swear.
There's no kids listening. This is where we get the secrets out.
dads.
Yeah, it's just other dads. If your child is listening to this, you're totally fucking up because like they're gonna get all the secrets. And
Right.
yeah,
These
these are hard won.
He's like super willful and like such a jerk sometimes, right? So like, just started. So like, if he is like, you know, we're gonna go for a walk, and you know, it's this difference between like, hey, do you want to go for a walk? Be like, no. Like, all right, but we kind of have to go. So like, instead of doing that, being like, just starting out being like, well, all right, what car do you want to bring in the stroller for the walk?
right.
Red car. All right, go get your red car. And like, don't even like avoid the opportunity for him to say no to anything.
Yeah.
Or even like when going to bed, like, what are you supposed to be standing in bed? No. Then why are you standing in bed? Stand in bed.
Is he
Are you
still in a
supposed-
crib or is he in a bed?
He's a bed.
Oh.
Yeah. I told you he's like 8 feet tall. He would build a crib.
Yeah. Probably. Red oak.
Yeah, we're a nice red oak. Start with
Jointed.
pine, please.
Okay. So
We
yeah.
got
Okay.
race car bed. What's the bed?
I would
Yeah.
love to build a race car bed.
Uh-huh.
No, it's a bed he doesn't sleep in. I don't know. It's just it's one of those convertible cribs that the mattress drops
Okay.
down. But he doesn't sleep in it. He always just comes into our bed.
That's gotta be fun.
or starts in our bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Do you- can
he's
you-
the size of me.
Can you transfer him?
To his bed?
Yeah.
We're
or
like,
do you
I'm
just
like
snuggling in
sleeping
there?
by that point.
Are you a queen? Is it like queen size or are you?
It's a queen size
That's
bed.
that's snuggly for three
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Well,
We-
it's not
we
really
did this for years.
It's not really snuggling. It's more like kicking in my face.
Well, no, I
And,
know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not,
what I'm
it's-
saying.
There's nothing
It's-
romantic about it.
No, it's like too many people for not enough bed.
You know, maybe, but then like, how much bed do you really? You come to make compromises as a dad. How much bed do you really need? How much free time does a human really need?
Try
in his
adding a
life?
dog.
I would.
Oh, you
love
let the dog
that.
sleep in the bed?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you guys are crazy.
But not
no,
like
yeah,
not
all-
like head on the pillow, right? Like at the
Your
foot of the
dog
bed.
couldn't get to the bed.
Yeah,
That's
she
the
can jump.
problem.
She's
Yeah.
jumped up twice. She got up there and she was like, "How the fuck did I get up on this bed? This is amazing."
No, Dean's like doing a triple jump. Like he's like basically doing an Olympics thing where he does like hop, 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 and then he'll hit the bed, spring, use it to spring,
And then just
Oh, wow.
continue.
land
out.
on the other side of
Oh,
you,
wow.
and then immediately go for your face.
That's great. I used to dog sit a dog that liked to get under the covers and lay on the pillow with her face just facing.
That's
so
what
you'd
my
wake
dog
up.
does.
You'd wake up in the morning and there'd be dog.
That's what I
2
got a
inches from
bunch
your
of pictures
nose.
on my
Yeah.
phone with that.
Yeah. It's
Oh, wow.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, so the bed is crowded. But the asking the questions I found to be way better than just saying no, right?
Can you give like the bad ultimatum, or does that work? Can you say like, do you want to go on a walk or go in the backyard and get hosed down for 10 minutes?
We try not to do that stuff, and try
Okay.
not to do the bribery stuff. Like, hey, if you do this, I'll give you some
Yeah,
bunny
that-
crackers. But you do what you have to do. That's the secret to being a parent, right? That I have found out.
Yeah.
My personal secret is fuck whatever anybody else says. You do what you need to do to get done, right?
Yeah.
If you need to get that kid in a stroller, at some point you do whatever you need to do, whether it's like close the world off around you while the screaming commences and you're just walking down the street. Hey neighbor, how's it going?
How's it, put your earbuds in, blasting
Yeah.
Britney Spears.
Or it's like, what do you want? You want a car? You want bunny crackers? Do you want Cheerios? What do you need? What's going to get you in the stroller now? 'Cause
Got some
we gotta
crack.
go. Yeah. Do you want some weed? What do
This
you?
is terrifying.
Let's go.
This is not good.
So like, yeah, my wife and I definitely have our different opinions of like, you just need to put them in and let them scream it out versus the like, this is a battle. Is not necessary. We'll go for a walk later. Whereas like
Yeah.
I don't spend all day with him. So like, I'm definitely more of the like, well, once you say you're going down this road, you can't show weakness. You need to, he will smell that.
One of you has to own that for the right. I mean, yeah. So were you the good cop or the bad cop?
I was the good cop. Totally. I mean, it's
see
a
that.
typical dad role, especially
Yeah.
with daughters. I mean, even to this day, I'm the good cop. But the times I had to be bad cop, like
Heartbreaking.
it was hard for me, but she totally knew she was in trouble. Like if dad got pissed, she knew it was all over. And also, my wife being European, like she was naturally harsher to start with. So the default was I felt like she was too harsh, and for sure I was too lenient, right? So somewhere in the middle, we made it work together, right? But there were definitely times when my daughter was really pushing it with my wife, where I like totally got mad, where I was like, I've been lenient with you, and now you have fucked up.
Oh,
like
man.
this is not cool what you
Don't
just
burn
did.
me.
Right. And so then when I come down on her, just like immediate like it's like I've disappointed my father.
and then do you hold it until you get clear and you're like, I made the
no,
child cry,
I
or
have
you,
to
like-
I have to stay to that.
Yeah.
It's not like a sit down on the edge of the bed at night and be like, hey, listen,
Well, I've done that too, definitely. I mean, I've done the good cop scolding. Like,
I'm really
this is
disappointed in
this
you?
is not going to fly.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really disappointed, and that also is crushing.
Yeah.
You never want to disappoint your parents, and when you tell them you're disappointed, whether it's by yelling or even softly, it freaks them out.
even
They
at
can't
teenage
stand it.
years, like you think,
Oh yeah,
okay.
that never changes.
on the other side of that, you never want to disappoint or like. So she started walking, and with that comes infinitely more pain than crawling or immobile baby.
Sure.
Like she's wiping out all the time.
Did that end table
And-
go down?
No, not yet. That we got to fix that thing.
Yeah.
That thing's a disaster.
It was like watching King Kong climb
Yeah.
a skyscraper.
Well, so here's the thing: is she's learned now. She pulled over a kitchen table, a kitchen chair on her once.
Oh, okay.
And that gave her a real sense of like
Physics.
I feel like she learned an important lesson there about when things start to get when she starts moving them and they're not moving laterally.
Yeah.
Probably it's time to back off because she
Yeah.
stopped trying to climb up the chairs. But like if I'm sitting there and she does something that she's going to hurt herself, it's so hard to let her keep doing whatever she's doing. Because I don't want to hurt her, and I don't want her to think, "Oh, Dad was here and he let me get hurt." But at the same time, that occasionally falling down on something isn't a bad thing.
I feel like it's the one thing nature got wrong. For the most part, it works the way it's supposed to work. It seems to me. But it does seem wrong that like they're mobile before there's any logic
Reason
or
or-
intelligence
Yeah.
involved. So they could like stick their hand. I remember getting in this huge fight with my daughter when she was little, like probably around your son's age, where it was like out of a cartoon. It's like she wanted to put her hand on the stove, and I was like, I can't let you do that.
Yeah.
You're going to be in the hospital and I'm going to get arrested. But she was like, freaking out,
Yeah.
screaming, I want to put my hand on the, it's like, just trust me that it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
So Gina did something really clever because she was trying to teach her the ouchie thing, where you say something's ouchie to let her know that that's going to hurt her.
Yeah.
And we couldn't do it with the stove because it's not hot most of the time. But she just told her to touch it real fast, and she touches it and then pulls back, and then she's like, "Oh no, that's okay. I can put my hand on it now," and she can tell.
Oh, really? She's
Well,
like
oh,
testing
oh,
it?
that's
Yeah,
interesting.
she's like,
Jeez.
nope. Okay, that one's good, and also makes a good noise when she whacks it with her hands. So she likes both of those things. I don't know
Oh, wow.
if she's actually learned anything there.
Yeah.
I may be placeboing.
Yeah.
Right.
But she doesn't put her hand on it when it's hot.
That's good.
Yeah, so mission accomplished, I guess.
We just gave Max a box of matches.
That's good.
And he really likes it.
And a tank of propane.
It's-
Yeah.
It's good to burn things.
It's weird. Like I'll smell the sulfur.
Yeah.
And I'll walk out, and it's just my wife and my son, a 2-year-old. He's sitting in a high chair smiling. My wife is just lighting off matches and like,
Are you serious?
oh yeah, and just because they.
Oh, I
play-
thought this was a joke.
No,
thought it was a joke,
They
yeah.
just play with candles, and he says candles, and they like lighting candles.
This seems like a phenomenally bad
just,
idea.
just like by the light of these matches, my loving wife, and my son, illuminated in this glow and just cackling. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
An early arsonist.
Yeah.
More matches. Yeah, he just likes the candles. I think he had the first birthday.
Yeah.
And then it was he likes candles. What kid doesn't like fire?
Well, yeah, our daughter will sit and stand in front of the fire and just stare at it. She's super
Yeah.
like when we have a fire going, she's like,
Yeah.
and occasionally she'll see it like from the other room and just blast over.
I'll
and
do
then-
that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's warm. Feels
Yeah.
good.
But it's so yeah. I was going to ask you, Jeff, the part about the good cop bad cop thing.
Yeah.
How'd your wife feel? Did she feel like she was the bad cop? Did she accept that role?
Well, she accepts it, but over the years, it's been an occasional source of stress. There's definitely like, I don't always have to be the one to do this or that.
Like the heavy?
The heavy, and that's fair, But I mean, sometimes you just naturally fall into a role that's meant for you.
Yeah.
So the thing that my wife and I were worried about with that was that that it would end up damaging our relationship with our daughter long term. And then we started thinking about our relationship with our parents. And I don't know that Gina necessarily had a heavy in her parental relationship, but I definitely did. And my mom and I get along better than ever.
Was your mom
My
the heavy?
mom was definitely the heavy.
Really? And your dad was the lenient one?
Oh, my mom was
Yeah.
definitely the heavy too.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
Mine was definitely my relationship was definitely the wait until your father gets home. Oh,
Really?
just
Well-
wait until your father gets home.
So if I did something, like the time I almost burned the barn down, that was a wait until your dad gets home. But most of the time, like if I was coming home late from in high school, or if I had done something stupid, like running with a knife or something, mom was the one who would come down on that. And to the point that like when I left for college, she was being such a pain in the ass about something. I was like, look, I can't even talk to you right now. I'll see you when I get back at Thanksgiving. And
Aw.
I mean, it was a horrible. It's something I look back on now with a lot of regret.
Was that your first year of college?
Probably it was either the first or second. It was early, and it was when I was still coming back for holidays before I had gotten a job and stuff. But I think I kind of needed to do that because it let her know like where I stood, and it kind of became more of a peer. I don't know. It is
No,
like dangerously
I'm
near.
in that position now.
Yeah.
As the parent, because my daughter's in her sophomore year at college, and when she comes home now, it's just different.
Yeah.
And it's taken some adjusting. So I get it from the parent side.
It's not
now.
like
It's
be home
really
by
rough.
10. Yeah.
Yeah, because she could basically just say, you know what, I'm 18. Actually, I'm 20.
Right.
Fuck you.
Well, you're still paying
I'm coming
the
home
bills,
at
though.
4.
Yeah.
Right, and of course there's that.
Yeah.
And there's definitely the like, if you're in our house, it's our rules sort of thing. And she's a good kid, so we don't really have those discussions. But when push has come to shove, and it has a few times, where it's like, we would really like it if you did this.
Yeah.
You know, she'll say, well, okay, I will try, but it may not happen. And, you know, so there's like this edge there.
Well, it's a courtesy. It becomes a courtesy thing rather than an authority thing.
Right, and that's sort of what
ended
we
up.
always say.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just a matter of, we don't want to worry about you.
Yeah.
You know, you can come home at 2. We don't give a shit. But call and
Yeah.
say you're going to be home at 2. Don't say you're going to be home at 12.
Right.
Right? So then we spend 2 hours wondering where the hell you are.
Right. Waiting for the call from the police.
And you know, on the enlightened side of that, you know, like, we want her to be a grown-up now, right? Like, she shouldn't be in a subservient kid role at age 20 when she comes home. Like, I like seeing her being a more independent woman who knows what she's doing. So, but it's also hard to reconcile with, like, oh man, she doesn't need me.
Well, and then do you also have like the like she's hanging out with the high school friends that are the bad seeds and all that business, or not? Or was that not really a problem?
She only hung
always
out
had
with
bad seeds,
she only
yeah.
hung out with nerds like her, so
Okay.
there were no bad seeds.
You never had to like put on a leather jacket and like rev the motorcycle outside
Yeah,
of kids'
you know,
house?
it's been. I was been thinking about that. You know, we really did get lucky in that way. Like, there was no one person, boy or girl, where I ever
Knock
had
on
to
wood.
say,
It's 20 now.
well, right.
Yeah.
Except now, what could I do?
Rev
right?
the
If she
motorcycle,
decided,
get the
I
baseball
guess-
bat.
Well, start, take out the table saw.
Yeah.
Start
Yeah.
cutting wood.
I guess if she
Come on
met-
in the garage. I want to show you something.
if she had some shitty boyfriend or something, you're right. It wouldn't be over.
Well,
Yeah,
you,
you're
at
right.
that point, you have the talk with her, right? You talk to her and you say, "Look, this is. I know
Right.
you think this is the right thing to do, but like,
oh, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. That
Have
might
you guys
make it
ever?
worse.
This is probably you
Depends on
probably
the
have
kid.
not watched this, but have you guys actually watched Parenthood, the TV show?
oh, of course.
Okay, so that show is actually pretty great, especially if you're a parent.
Well,
if you're not,
it's just because
sort
it's
of
about
cheesy.
you.
Well, it's Berkeley. It's set
Yeah.
in Berkeley, except it's not Berkeley, which is an incredibly annoying thing about the show. Like,
I
it's
gotta
completely
imagine.
Southern California, every scene. Like, they'll name drop, like, Pete's. They'll name drop Berkeley locations.
They'll use the lingo
as
wrong.
they're driving down what is
Yeah.
clearly Sherman Oaks.
Yeah.
So it's super annoying.
The bark.
But there's certain things about the relationships between the parents and the kids, whether it's like kids your age or kids who are like 30, that the show totally nails, like in a super smart way. And one of them is that what's his name? The guy who plays the grandfather, the guy who was coach. What was his name?
Craig T. Nelson.
Craig T. Nelson.
Who could forget Coach?
Yeah.
Craig T.
Nobody.
Nelson is the patriarch of the whole family, and the way his relationship with his kids, who are all basically like my age, like 40ish, is incredible. And when one of them has a shitty, like when Lauren Graham has a shitty ex-husband, and his relationship to the shitty ex-husband is super intense, and he's basically like, don't fuck with my daughter, you know. And Lauren Graham's like 40 and he's like 70. Wow. But watching that, I'm like, that's right. Yeah, that will probably never end. Like, there's part of you that's always going to be protective, right?
Yeah.
Of your own kid, no matter how old they are.
But if you have a nerdy kid, probably the thing that happens, like I remember with Karen. Karen had a couple boyfriends that my dad.
Hold on, was
and
Karen
I-
a nerdy kid or was she a trouble child?
Karen's whatever. She's a unicorn. She's
She's
whatever.
the same way
weird-
she is now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she was always like super nuts and crazy, but like she had. I remember one specific boyfriend in college that was just like a little. My dad was like an all-American football player, you know, like in college, and she like brought home this like kind of sensitive poety guy that was like writing like songs and stuff, and you know, my dad and I just kind of like sat through it and laughed, and we're like, oh, let's hope this changes or something.
This is gonna make Thanksgiving weird.
But that was like how like he dealt with that kind of stuff. Like you just kind of like avoided it like a little bit.
And just kind of like give some space. And
Yeah, if you have the good kid, like,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
could see him totally going that other way. But the hardest thing that he ever had was just putting up to, you know, the guy that would quote, you know, Keats or
Baudelaire.
something. You know, you'd just be like, "Well, it's Thanksgiving. Like, we don't need Keats
Right.
right now."
But I mean,
like,
but that's a different kind of like. That's a different kind of like than potentially like abusive or real bad.
Exactly.
thing.
Well,
Like,
right,
that's
yeah.
something you just kind
But
of
that's what
write
I'm
out
saying,
and hope it works
you
out.
got a nerdy kid. That's probably the worst that you'd have
And
to
that's
deal with.
my experience
Yeah.
so far. There was one boy, and I won't go into the story really, but when she was in middle school, and it was like her first. I'm using romance in quotes because they were too young, really. But you know, it was that early like
You start
puppy,
going to
puppy
dances
love
and stuff,
thing.
yeah.
But it was long distance too. And he at some point he came to our house like to stay for the weekend, and it was like all the parents, we all arranged it. His parents, and he actually did he pushed it with her over the weekend. We didn't know about it till it was almost over, but he like tried at a young age. And I found out about it later. And actually, he ended up leaving early. He didn't stay the whole weekend because
Wow.
my daughter threw him out.
Good for
Nice.
her.
Right.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. I had no clue what was going on. I was oblivious dad. And all I knew was I got up on Sunday and this kid was gone. And I like went to her and I was like I almost thought it was like her fault. I was like, "Were you not nice to him? Like, what's going on? Like that kid
Oh,
is
God,
so
that's
nice."
that's
Because the
disastrous.
kid was totally like
Eddie Haskell?
Eddie Haskell. Like, I'm Jeff Green. I listen to you. So I thought he was great, you know. But it turned out he was a son of a bitch. And when I found out, then you know I went ballistic and I actually wrote to his mom, and I was like, I don't want this kid anywhere in like Alameda County because I'll know.
Your Alameda County privileges are revoked.
Yeah, I did tell the mom what he did. Though,
Did she
and
respond?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, how do you respond to that?
Yeah.
Your son is a potential rapist.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have that problem, but you know,
Yeah.
something to look forward to, Vinny.
Well, like that's the thing. Like I guess with a boy, it's just like I'm just on the other end of that spectrum. It's
Right.
just going to be like bringing over bad girls or something.
Right. Well, you
Or
guys know
beats
the
up
expression,
another
right?
kid.
It's
A fight.
Yeah.
worrying about one penis rather than every penis. That's the difference between men and boys and girls.
Oh God, you're a monster. So the theory Gina and I have been working off of, and I don't know if it's the right theory or not. Maybe you can give us some insight. But we kind of are hoping that if you do the other stuff right, then things like that just kind of work themselves out. Like if she ends up being self-confident
Yes.
and you know knows what's right and wrong, then assuming she has reasonably good judgment, but at the appropriate ages,
Just gonna touch the stove real quick.
yeah, she'll touch it.
Whoa,
Whoa.
there you go.
Pour the coffee on the table. It's fine.
No, I
Everything's
think that's
cool.
absolutely right, Will. And actually, I think that's probably the thing I'm most proud of, like maybe in my life, not just even as a parent, is that now when I see her, you know, I see like a woman who's not going to take shit,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And she didn't take shit from that kid at whatever age that was, 13, 14.
Yeah,
she
that's
threw
great.
him the fuck out.
Right. And now
You
I
know?
know Max will just be like, no!
Right.
We'll hear it for miles.
Yeah, and you know, especially for a girl, that's important.
Yeah.
Right. They need to have the self-confidence and the strength to not put up with us because we're a bunch of fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, guys suck.
It's true. Like, my son is a jerk.
hate
Even
you,
when we
Vinny.
try. I mean, we don't all suck all the time, but you know, there's a biological imperative.
What is it? John Scalzi says it's a easy mode. If you're a white guy, then you're playing life on easy.
It is
So,
easy mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we talk about food
We talk
a
about
little bit? Can we, eating
Sure.
food,
Us
babies.
eating food, baby
Yeah.
food.
Baby
so
food?
we started. No, we're done with baby food. She eats what we eat now, basically, which means that we eat more baby food because everything's chopped up into the non-choking pieces.
Did you also switch? You switched to regular milk, right?
Yeah. Well, she still nurses a couple times a day, like right before bed and right.
Was that
after
is
she
that
wakes up.
easy?
The regular milk?
Yes.
There was some terrifying poops, like maybe a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is sometimes she gets really excited about the milk, and like she'll be like more. She doesn't say more, but she grabs the milk thing and starts just
Out of sippy
spazzing
cups?
Sippy cups.
Yeah.
So she gets 2 sippy cups with each meal now. One has water and one has milk. She strongly prefers the milk most of the time, and sometimes she'll kind of overdo it, and then it's poop city.
Does she ever double fist it?
Yeah. The other day, so these are the things that are wonderful, right? The other day, she learned how to grab the 2 sippy cups with one hand, so she can hold it up, and she does this kind of like this number where it's like, and then switches.
Oh
to the
my
other.
god,
It's like,
that's awesome!
Wow.
yeah, it's amazing.
But she enjoys whole milk.
She enjoys the whole milk. She is like I said, we got an easy baby. She eats everything but avocado pretty much. She sleeps. She goes right to sleep. She doesn't fight on changing tables.
Wow.
Like she doesn't scream a whole lot. She sleeps well.
What time does she go to bed?
As soon as we can get her in, usually.
And she doesn't complain.
So sometimes when she takes a nap, she'll unzip her sleep sack and take it off and squawk for a little bit, and then she wants you to come back in and put the sleep sack back on and give her a hug, and she'll go right back to sleep then. At bedtime, almost always, she gets dinner, she gets a bath, she gets nursed, and then we read a book. And she's usually unconscious like 20 seconds after you put her down.
That's great.
That's completely alien to me.
I'm sorry, Vinny.
That's crazy.
Normally how ours is too, but then she'll wake up.
Oh, okay.
Is she still waking up, or is that
She'll
kind of
wake up
phasing out?
right now. She'll wake up at most of the time once a night. Sometimes it'll be a teething night, and I'll just be like, "What's going on?"
Do you do the biscuits? Do you give her the biscuits?
We've got a couple things. The newest one that we found that's actually pretty awesome is it's basically just it's almost like a pacifier, except it's hollow,
Okay.
and then it has a bunch of holes in it. So you cut up fruit and you can open it up,
Okay.
and you throw fruit in it.
It's like a dog toy.
Yeah, and then they sit there and they can just chew
Suck
it.
on.
And
Oh,
they
amazing.
suck the juice and stuff
smart.
out of it. And it was like, when we found this thing, we were like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is perfect. Because she didn't like pacifiers or
Yeah.
anything, and she was always putting something in her mouth just to chew on. But this was kind of perfect because you could still kind of quasi give her something.
Is there just like strawberry and stuff juice all over? Like,
We mostly use apples, so it's
Okay.
all right. I mean, she gets a little sticky, but that's kind of the
That's
worst
kids.
of it.
Yeah.
But we are definitely looking forward to the regular milk because
Oh, you're not there yet. Yeah.
We switched off of nursing completely like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, so your formula?
Yeah, because we
Oh,
switched
such a pain in
to
the
we
ass.
started doing some daycare stuff when Nicole started going to school, so we kind of it just naturally sort of
Yeah.
switched. But now, like, man, it's like 2 buckets of that formula stuff a week,
and it's
you're
like
just
$40.
Yeah,
It's
so-
like not
Well, and it's
cheap.
a pain in the ass too.
yeah, and it smells funny.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's yeah.
It doesn't smell good.
There's a lot of not good there.
And I'm really excited about dropping off the bottles because they're just a pain in the ass to
yeah,
wash.
we packed up the bottles the other day. It was great.
I'm looking forward to that day.
I think
I'm
I
like
lo-
2 months. 2 months from that.
We did it at 12 months probably.
Yeah, so I got a month left.
And the nice thing was around that same time she started sleeping all the way through. Like the doctor was like, if she wakes up at midnight, go in, give her the normal thing.
Yeah.
So let her cry for 5 or 10 minutes. If she doesn't go back to sleep, which she almost always goes back to sleep, you go in, pick her up, comfort her, see if she's teething. Like if you rub her gums and she starts crying, then that means give her something to chomp on, and that, like, we have this thing that came from Target. And it's like a handle. It looks like a rattle almost, but on one end it has like plasticky gel things. You leave it in the fridge so those
yeah.
get cold.
Oh, yeah, we've got
on the
those.
other end it has flaps, and that
Yeah,
thing she
I have a
chomps
similar thing.
3 sides of that, and she's good and goes right back to sleep.
How do you guys feel about brushing baby teeth?
I do the I don't have any teeth.
Right, but I'm saying like
Right.
when teeth come in,
We've been doing it.
Like
So
a-
they get
with
like
stuff?
special fluoride. And
Is
Sonoma's
fluoride
weird.
free or
No, it's like actual pure fluoride because in Sonoma there's not fluoride in the water.
What the fuck?
really?
Yeah, that's how.
What is
backwards-
wrong with
It's
you
been-
people?
It's been a debate since the 70s. Like there were people there that are like, because you got Sebastopol, so Sebastopol is sitting there like, we don't want chemicals in the water, and our like doctor is basically like, these people are bananas. Here, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'm going to give you like real fluoride.
Wow.
Oh
And
my
like,
God.
so every night my wife will sit there but she likes it. She has a good time.
Well, and you rub the gums. We just rub the gums with the washcloth in the shower.
I'm just more like, enjoy it now, kid. Like, don't brush. Like, who the fuck cares? They're all gonna fall out anyway. Like, do what you want.
Kind of true with the baby teeth.
And my wife is like, "Oh, we're gonna brush his teeth in
You're
the morning."
building habits that
and whatever.
last
It's a
the rest
habit.
of his life.
Yeah, but like when I'm with him in the morning, I'm just like, let's
But when you
brush. No,
like if your wife and kid are gone, do you go a couple days without brushing your teeth ever, or you brush them
I?
every day? Yeah.
no. If
Super
I'm not
gross.
leaving the house,
I'm totally judging you right now.
yeah. If I'm not leaving the house, like,
Yeah.
who cares? No way.
Gross.
I'll build whatever ecosystem in there I want.
By the time he has real teeth, they're gonna have the vaccine for the tooth decay stuff anyway.
It'll just, right.
It'll just be gone. You'll get a shot.
Man, I hope so.
Be nice. So everybody stops brushing. It smells like
Well, they'll just
Bad
admit,
things, man.
it's just a personal thing. If like I feel like if I wake up and my mouth feels disgusting, yeah, of course I'm gonna brush. But if I wake up minty fresh, I'm okay for the day.
You wake up minty
bet
fresh.
you don't wake up
sometimes?
minty fresh.
No, I never wake up. It is like a cat took a shit in my
Caravella
mouth. every-
minty fresh.
As a kid, I had 13 teeth pulled.
What?
Holy
like adult
crap.
like adult teeth?
No, like
No.
the little
teeth.
kid teeth.
Because they weren't coming out?
Yeah, they weren't coming out. I had
Man,
like
hanging
kind
on
of
for-
like a quack doctor.
I knew you were stubborn, but I didn't know your teeth were stubborn.
Christ, that's a nightmare.
Yeah, so it was really bad. So I got like a natural fear of dentists.
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
that.
sure.
No shit.
Yeah.
I
Which,
wouldn't say there's anything natural about that. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he collecting teeth in a jar?
No, but like he'd pull them out,
Talking
and it
him
was.
to the tooth fairy.
I think
Sure, he was
the
a dentist.
I'm not one of those people. I don't think like dentistry is bad or anything. Obviously, like go to your dentist and stuff. But I do think that there are probably like orthodontists out there that like take advantage of
Sure.
Yeah.
parents that are willing to like
Right. Root
overpay.
canal.
for,
You should
like-
always shop around.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to do a big procedure like that on a kid, my mom, when the
Yeah.
doctor was like, you're gonna have to pull 8 teeth to get these all to fit in your mouth hole.
Yeah.
Then she shopped around. We found an orthodontist. She's like, no, you don't need to have any. It just take longer.
Yeah.
So I think my parents were of that, style. So from the age of like 8 till I was out of high school, I either had braces or
Mouth guard or something.
all that kind of stuff, or I was having like teeth pulled out.
Man.
So I remember I think I've told you guys this story where I got knocked out to have like a couple teeth removed, and when I was going under, they're like count to 10, backwards
Yeah.
as they're knocking you out. The dentist assistant drops a drill, and it falls and hits directly
Oh
her
my
vein
God.
and
Fountains.
Holy
Fountain.
shit.
as I'm falling under. And then so I come out and I'm like, did that really happen? And they're like, yes, it did. It wasn't a dream. And then my mom took me to Gremlins 2 to make up for it.
Great.
Wow.
Like, you've already seen the worst you're going to see.
Yeah, seriously.
That reminds me of like a.
Was this happening in like a parking lot? Is this
Is this the same guy who cuts your hair?
pop-up
There was
dentistry?
a
Like-
table selling some pliers next.
Back alley.
yeah.
It was like David Cronenberg was there. That's like a kids like a mid-century kids novel about like the parents going to the dentist is a friend of the parents, so you have to go to the scary guy or whatever. I don't know.
Mine
It's
was
real weird.
Yeah, ours was
Family friend.
definitely like a guy that I played baseball with, and his dad was the
Yeah, you knew him.
yeah.
Hey, it's a business,
I know a
man.
guy.
And you got to make a living.
I have a friend who's a dentist, but she's good.
I have
They
no.
have the highest suicide rate, don't they?
Yeah, it's a real desperate profession.
Oof.
I mean,
I mean, you're sticking your hand in
yeah,
people's
people,
mouths all
and they
every
hate you. Like
day.
everybody kind of just like
Yeah.
They hate you or they're afraid of you.
yeah.
It's like being a weatherman, except for with your mouth.
You're not like totally like a doctor, even though you are.
right.
But, like people
Nobody
don't think
really
of you
thinks
that
about
way.
it. Right.
Optometrist, it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Go
No.
to go to school.
Sorry, Courtney.
But that's
Yeah.
why when you get a good one, you stick with that one
Yeah.
because it's
Totally.
like, man,
Well,
I did have a good one, and then moved, which is such a
Yeah.
bummer.
Mine retired.
No.
Yeah, the problem. This is another thing that I realize as I get older is that like I'm starting to look at doctors as the ones that I'm going to keep for the rest of my life now.
Yeah.
So I'm eyeing like the 25-year-olds coming straight out of school and thinking,
Yeah.
this is probably you're a good investment.
For sure.
Let's
You look
settle in
healthy.
here.
Let me see
Yeah.
your teeth.
Yeah.
you look
What's
good.
your blood pressure? Pretty good. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
So
Yeah.
I had a question, Jeff, again about some words of wisdom about the. So I'm starting to get to the point where Max has to go out and socialize without us. But like, I don't want. He's been in the bubble so long that like, how do you accept that part where like we were talking about before? He's gonna meet bad kids or good kids, or like he's gonna come home and start saying stuff, or
Yeah.
like, do you trust the teachers? And like, I have trust issues as it is, and like. I would just keep him in the bubble the whole time, but like he's gotta go out.
Right. I
and-
mean, of course, we'd probably want to keep them in the bubble forever if we could, right?
They're
do you-
very cute in the bubble.
They're cute in the bubble, and the bubble's
Yeah.
a bubble. It's safe, right?
Yeah, so like I'm sure you're experiencing this now or throughout the entire stage of
yeah.
fatherhood of like
Oh, yeah.
you don't want your kid to meet the bad part of the world, right?
Right, and of course you protect them from that as long as you can. But even when my daughter was your son's age, and I remember those times. And when she first started going to preschool, that was the first time where she would come home and like she had learned words or whatever that like not even bad words or whatever, just like expressions. And I remember whatever was one of them, and I was like, "What the? What do you mean whatever?
Like
you don't
hold on.
say that.
Sarcastic, whatever. Like whatever.
Kind of.
Oh,
yeah.
that's so bad.
Yeah. And those are the kind of things that you start noticing. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way that came from this house. So now they have a life outside of me, and that sucks. Like that shouldn't happen. But you're going to feel that way even when all the kids are awesome.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it just happens.
bigger thing that's more of a reality is get ready to welcome all the colds.
Oh God, yeah.
Because going
The
to
flu
daycare,
factory.
she's basically just been sick for
Like
a
a
whole month.
But that's good,
Runny
right?
noses
Like she's
and-
getting all her immunities in.
It's
Not
okay,
up
but it
there.
also
He's probably
means
gonna whooping cough in fucking land of no vaccines.
it also means that you're gonna get it too.
Sure.
So
Did you guys get a flu shot?
we did,
You did?
but
Yeah.
that doesn't that protects you from like influenza.
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
like,
I'm
a
just
runny
curious.
nose and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I've just been starting to think about like my relationship. We were saying like with our parents and stuff like that. My dad would constantly just be he was the dad who was like, wait until you get to the real world, kid, and like wait until the real world slaps you in the ass.
Yeah.
And like I definitely resented that when I was a kid. Be like, I'm in the real world. You don't understand. I've got 8th period. That's the real world. And he was like, I can't believe you're complaining about junior high. Like, wait until you got to get a job and fucking sucks. And I've tried.
and he was right.
And he was kind
He
of right.
was, but I wouldn't do that.
But
I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I've always tried as I've gotten older. Actually, this kind of stuck with me, and I hope this sticks with me. I'm sure it'll go away as soon as my kid's a teenager in school. But being like, it's all relative.
Yeah.
Like if you're a 12-year-old or 15-year-old, that is your life. This
That's
is
right.
the biggest deal. Like,
Yeah.
this person being mad at you at school is the biggest deal going. Not your mortgage or your the tax rate.
Right.
So like, yeah, you're kind of right, but like. Just because Jenny's mad at you at the time, like it's ruining your life, like it kind of
I'm
is.
course,
completely with you.
You could
Yeah.
you could introduce him to taxes at an early age and start
Yeah.
bringing out a full plate of food and then just take 40% of it away and be like, well, this is mine. Here's yours.
My dad was
good idea.
My
Yeah.
dad was like a very, very much a reminder of who pays the bills. Like you're in this house. When you pay the bills in the house, you can touch my tools. I don't know, whatever it was.
See, my dad was never like that, but my mom was totally like you just wasted 35 cents worth of milk. You didn't drink that milk. Oh,
really?
That was 35 cents.
So it is kind of like taxes.
Yeah.
and then docked it.
My
from
dad
you.
taught me about
Yeah.
stocks when I was
Really?
like, 14.
Really?
And I bought a bunch of, what did I know when I was at that age? I knew video cards. So I bought like 3DFX.
That worked out.
Oh, wow.
Stock? It did, actually.
Yeah, you
At
have
the
video
time.
stock.
Did you
now,
cash
right?
it in?
So that was the funny thing is like I get to learn all that stuff, but he wouldn't let me actually touch anything.
Wow.
It came in helpful later when I dropped out of college and had no money.
Right.
And he was like, "Here you go. You've got this. This is what you got."
Right.
I think teaching kids about money is important.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
my parents didn't do that with me, and I like fucked up. You know, like my first credit card, I just was like, "Woo! I don't actually have to pay. This is awesome." I'm
Here's the
just
minimum
gonna-
$19 a month. I spent $3,000. How did this work?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so with my daughter, like she now has a credit card like under us, right? So we get the bill and everything, but it's partially to teach her, right? It's partially like first to give her some credit, but also like really explaining to her this is how it works. And yes, you could pay the $20, but guess what? And we're not going to pay that part.
Right.
So and I can definitely see her like applying it, like she's getting. And we started this early.
How did you approach that when they were younger? Like, when did you start with that?
Well, the credit card was
remember?
just college.
Right.
Okay, so
but that makes sense because she's across the country and it's the easiest
right, she
way.
sort of needs one.
Yeah.
Right? But before that, we did still try to, as soon as it was appropriate, like she didn't know what our finances were. She still doesn't really know. But we tried to explain to her, what a bank account is, what all that means, what stocks are, not that we didn't give her any or whatever, but just like how these things work, what taxes are, why what I make doesn't equal what we get,
Right.
But even when like she was applying to college and we were looking at all that, like she had no comprehension. Like, okay, Columbia's $60,000 a year. What do you make, Dad? Do you make
Right.
like 10,000? Like she had no concept of like how the
Games
numbers are
journalist.
related.
It's not
Yeah,
that
I was
good.
like, you're not
They're
that
gonna
far
tell
off,
you, yeah.
actually.
So it was more
Yeah.
like 7, but like okay.
Yeah. So
After taxes, it's 2.5.
yeah,
So did you give her an allowance?
we did.
Was it an allowance based on chores?
No, it wasn't chores based.
Okay.
It was just you get this.
So she earned money for doing nothing.
Basically, but she had things to do, but we tried to not tie it into you've got to do this to get this.
So that's kind of like that. My wife and I have talked about this, and things change every day, right? So these conversations we have are meaningless because the next day, life just changes. But she's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to tie.
Yeah.
You should be doing chores because you want to help out with the
Exactly,
family,
right.
Not because you're
Right.
getting paid for it. I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna be like, you want to mow the lawn because I don't want to? Here's $20. Or like, you want to go wash the
Oh, no,
dishes
no.
because Dad doesn't want to do it? I will pay you, son, to do the things I don't want to
Vinny.
do. Welcome to the free market.
No, your mistake. going to go ahead and tell you your mistake because my dad did not do this. He made me think as a young child that driving the tractor to mow the field was the most fun thing that a man can do. He would go out.
He's probably right, though.
Was it not? Because that kind of sounds like something.
Well, okay.
Older man would have fun
that sounds
with.
great right now.
In my current life, with 4,000 square feet of land in beautiful Pacifica, California, that I mow with a weed whacker.
Yeah.
Yes. Spending 8 uninterrupted hours sitting on a tractor, mowing and drinking a 6-pack of beer
Yeah.
and listening to music.
Sounds all right.
Sounds heavenly.
Fucking awesome.
Yes.
However, when I was 17 years old or 15 years old, when I was 16 years old, had a car and wanted to go out and chase girls and go to the lake and drink beer and ski, spending 6 hours getting loaded on the back of the tractor wasn't a preferred activity.
Sure.
But by the time I realized that I'd already been doing it for 5 years, because as soon as I was strong enough to turn the wheel, he was like, well, I don't know. I think you're probably ready, but let's see how you do. Only go in second gear. Second gear is like 1.5 miles an hour. So you couldn't get into too much trouble, even if I started taking out fence or something.
Yeah.
But I was stoked. I was
How many
thrilled.
acres?
15.
Oh yeah. See, I did
It's a
2.5.
long time.
That's not, and
Well,
I
this is-
thought that was a lot.
This is with a bush hog. So we had different scale mowers
Yeah.
So wait, did you not have fun doing it?
for a year or two. But then I was like, I'm going to start reading books while I was mowing. And that was a bad idea.
What a nerd.
Yeah.
So wait, so what are you?
And then I got a Walkman, which totally changed
Oh,
the deal
wow.
for a while.
Yeah,
Because I
that's
listened to music.
But did you
and
get
mow.
paid for it?
Fuck no.
Okay.
No.
So it was
but I did.
for the good of the household.
No, it was just because it was the thing that you had to do.
So-
because mom said so.
My parents made me do chores and keep a ledger for buying Christmas presents.
Holy
Oh, like
shit.
a little savings plan.
Like my sister and I had like little ledgers where we'd write down the stuff that we do.
Wow.
The amount of money that we had from it, and then like the cost of the presents that we wanted to buy.
Did you also get an allowance?
No, I don't think we did. Like it was during, so it was basically during that cycle of the year.
Yeah, like the
so
holiday
for 3
season?
months,
Yeah.
that's where we
Huh.
were doing it.
So we got money for school lunches. Like mom gave us $10 a week or whatever it was to buy school lunches. And then there was always maybe, if I had to guess, I would say it was like 30% more. But we didn't have any opportunities to spend money outside of the school because we lived in the country. So it's not like we could go down to the corner store or go buy a
gums.
Nintendo
Kind of
game
how
or
I
something.
was too.
Yeah.
And probably why I didn't have an allowance is
Yeah.
you just
What
where
are
are
you
you
gonna
going to
do?
go?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like I had enough money to buy an ice cream at school maybe once or twice a week if I wanted, like because they sold them in the cafeteria. But it wasn't.
But like, say you wanted a toy, did you have to like save or?
I wash cars. And,
But like when you were
bought
younger,
a-
when you were like 10 or something.
So when I was 10, the Nest came out, and I saved my $5 and did chores. I did extra stuff
Okay.
to make, like we were selling bookmarks at the time. So for a cent each, if I put a bookmark on a back, then I would get a penny, and that's 80,000 bookmarks or something.
So I think it
ridiculous.
was more like demand based. So it'd be like, hey, I want to get this thing, and they would be like, oh, okay, well,
Let's figure
like,
something
here's-
out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's always like
It's like layaway kinda?
It's like
Yeah.
brokering a deal.
I think a lot of times they would do that thinking I would lose interest before I saved the amount of money I
Yeah,
needed.
sure, yeah.
Because I'm sure they didn't want me to get a video game thing. They probably thought it was the devil and that I'd ruin my life.
See, I was thinking like chore, like work. You can do work that like for me.
Yeah.
That's just like I don't want to like take my chores, right?
Yeah, but you can't let them know that you don't want to do that shit.
Why?
They're not going to want to do it. You
How
got to
are you
let him
gonna
think
do
it's
it
the
for
best
money?
thing. No, he doesn't care about. He has no idea what money is.
Oh, it's gonna be
Do it for candy.
yeah, dude, money
Here's a
that you can
Snickers
use
bar.
to buy candy.
I bet you had the horrible
me.
chore that I had too, which is just lots of mulching.
No, we didn't do mulching because we didn't have flower beds. Well, our flower beds were all bark.
Mulching's the worst.
It
Smells
smells
so
bad.
bad. It's like you could feel the fumes coming off. It's
The thing I
gross.
hated was weed eating under the fence.
Yeah.
We had 3 miles of fence
Jeez Louise.
because it's all the horse fields. So weed eating under the fence is like you end up just covered in grass. And I was had horrible hay fever, so I was sneezing like crazy the entire time. And if you dug too much into the fence post, then mom yelled at you. It was brutal.
Man.
Kids these days have it so easy.
Yeah, I'd pay a kid to do work.
So Playtime. Now that we have a mobile child, which we didn't have the last time we did this, like we alternate. We don't really like we don't have a set schedule that like this is your day and this is my day. Gina's at home all week, and usually I'll take Saturday afternoon or whatever and play with the baby.
What happens on Sunday?
Usually we split ski Sunday.
Okay.
I think that's fair. I feel good with that. And sometimes we both play together. We'll go on a walk together. We'll go to the zoo or something like that. Like sometimes it's everybody together. Sometimes it's mom needs some sanity time.
Where are you getting your woodworking in?
I have 45 minutes a week, maybe. I think you're the one who introduced me to this concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, those prototypes for the controller, that's a solid month worth of work right
Yeah.
there. And it's literally like maybe 20 holes drilled.
Right.
Yeah, and a little bit of wiring. So we do, but the playing is incredibly tedious, and I love her. I love
Yeah.
spending time with her. I read the same book 8 or 10 times every day.
You can read while she's playing? She'll like play solo?
She'll bring over a book, hand it to me.
Oh,
and
one of
then-
her books.
One of her books.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not reading I haven't read
Okay.
a book in 6 months. Are you
Okay.
fucking kidding me?
No, I wasn't kidding.
She'll bring a book over, set it down, open it to the first page,
Yeah.
and okay, I'll start reading. And then she goes and plays with blocks or something, or gets out the puppets, and then she wants the puppets to read the book because Gina's introduced that idea. That was great.
Oh yeah, let me pause you here, and Dave or maybe even Will. This sounds like you're too deep in. Word of warning: be very careful with the voice you give to characters because you will be doing it all the time.
Yep.
And we had a Grover doll, and I was like, "Oh, Grover! Oh, hello, I'm Grover." After like 4 hours of doing that, you just are like, my blood is dripping out of my mouth. It's just, Grover wants to go to sleep. And he just says, do it in Grover, everything in Grover. So be very careful. So now all the voices are like, hi, I'm Grover.
It's up.
Hey,
The only funny bit that I have these days is I take care of the kid in the mornings from when she wakes up till, and then I leave like around 9 to get over here.
Oh, so you
because
do
of
the
drive.
morning rush. That's
So
good.
I do the morning rush, but it's real funny. Sometimes if she wakes up earlier, like sometimes she'll wake up around 6, and I will take her down and I'll just put my robe on, and I will like section off part of the room with my body
And just lay you there and
Make a
like
wall?
sleep.
And then she's got like the toy chest. I put a bunch of toys down, and I'll see if I can like try and get like some to sleep. It'll last for about 15 minutes.
You're the human barrier.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm a human barrier, and then she'll just immediately just like on top of me, and then I'm like, all right, the wall's got to come up at this point.
Well, so we do in the morning. In the morning, she does that's the only time she gets left alone, like in the pack and play kind of. So she gets dropped in the pack and play while we make breakfast and coffee
Oh
and
my
stuff.
gosh. He
That never works.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He never wanted to sit in that thing.
We just put a shitload of stuffed animals and toys in there, and she throws them all out. And when it gets low, then we put them all back in, and then she throws them out again. So that's the whole game. But it takes a while for her to actually get them all over the wall.
Max's game was like he was in like a video game sequence where he'd just run from side to side kind of until he knew it was going to tip over and like basically
Jesus.
like break out. Like dude did not want to be in
The
there.
Half-Life 2 physics puzzle.
Yeah, he's basically just like it's like the beginning of like Out of This World, like basically just like rocking that cage back and forth.
That's not good.
Yeah. Wait, so when you do the puppets in the reading time,
Yeah.
do you ever have to just call it quits because you're so done?
I don't feel like I have that option because my wife does that all day, every day
Yeah.
from 9
This is your
o'clock when I
penance?
leave until 7 o'clock at night when I get home. And I feel like if I punch out, it's like I'm, I can't admit defeat.
Do you do TV time?
Fuck no.
Not yet? No TV?
So Gina and I were both sick a couple of times when the baby was fine, and at that point we would load up Monsters Inc. or Winnie the Pooh or something like that and put it on TV and just take advantage of the fact that she's like, the pictures on the screen are moving, and we would just lay on the couch and she would sit on the floor and kind of bang blocks together,
Yeah.
But we don't do a lot of TV.
We started about
Occasionally iPad.
I'd say over a year and a half, or like maybe 1.6 or 7. And then now he's like, we started like, okay, from 7 to 8 you get to watch Sesame Street before bedtime, and on the weekends you can watch some TV. But now on the weekend it's all it is wants to watch trucks and TV.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, so we have a couple, I always have a couple of apps on the iPad that are like the, oh shit, I need to distract the baby, super important apps. One of them that's really good is that Magic Piano app from Smule. It's just a black screen with some wavy lines, and when you mash it in different places, it makes different tones at different volumes, and it's like, low is on the left, high is on the right.
Did you
loud
put
is on the
child lock
bottom.
on?
that's probably a good idea. But no, I had to turn off multi-touch gestures because she fat fingered it and would
There's
move from app to app.
There's a thing. So we just found out about this on the iPad. I don't know if it's new or not. You know way more about iPads than I do.
It came out with iOS 6 or 7.
It's like if you tap the home button 3 times, you can enable the lock that stops all that stuff, and then you just tap it again 3 times to disable it, and it turns off all the multi-touch stuff, all the other buttons. And
it's
you're just
basically
locked in
kiosk mode.
Yeah, it's actually super helpful.
Yeah. So she likes that, but it's so transfixing for her that I kind of worry. Like, I like that right now we can put her in the pack and play, and she'll kind of play by herself for 15 or 20 minutes. Or, like, honestly, most of the time we can just set her down on the floor in her room, and she'll play for, like I said, 10 minutes. If we put her in the kitchen, she'll open up the drawer with the pots and pans and pull out the pots and pans, and that's good for 10 or 15 minutes. And, like, those 10 or 15 minutes go a long way.
Yeah, it's like gold.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you go do something else, but at least you're not sitting down actively, like... And I feel really bad because she's super sweet and she's really cute, and she kind of thumps over.
Oh,
and
it's the most heartbreaking.
Kiss?
Yeah.
Kiss? And you put the puppet on, she kisses the puppet, and, it's very sweet, but it's just a lot of...
Like, in my mind, I am just like, why can't you just play cars by yourself? Like, I'm going to go do something else. Just sit in a corner and play by your goddamn self. But in reality, it's like, sitting down, moving cars back and forth.
And I love doing it, but it's like 8 hours. I love doing it in 3-hour chunks.
Yeah, I learned that like 2 to 5, when I think back now, was like a really hard age because I felt like, especially on the weekend, I was like full-time entertainment center.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, especially on the weekend when my wife was like, you've been at work all week.
Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah, but even at night when I get home, it's like, here you go. And they really can't play by themselves too well. They kind of can, but you really have to be there and you have to supervise, and they're constantly coming to you. But there does come this magic age where it's like, whoa, they don't even want me here. And it's liberating on the one hand, and then it's partly like, oh. And the same thing goes with the reading too. Like, once they start reading on their own, because I read to my daughter every single night, and it was awesome. And there became a point where she wanted to read by herself, and it's like, oh fuck! Like, I resented this every night that I had to read all the time, even while I enjoyed it.
That's
like,
my favorite. I love that.
No, I loved it too a lot. But there were certain nights where it was like, ugh, or she would like want to hear Madeline for like the 5th time like that night. Like, I could still do Madeline by heart. The
one-man play.
You're
taking it on the road.
Certain books, the Dr. Seuss books, just like by heart, and that would get tedious.
Bad things happened.
I was just talking to my wife about this because we were like, remember when like we were together, just the two of us, and like, remember when we didn't do anything, and like, and like, boy, like, why didn't we go travel the world and do all this stuff? And she'll be like, well, like in 18 years or whatever, like we'll go do it then. And I'm like, we'll be back to the whatever. I'm like, I hope we're not. I hope over the course of the 18 years, our lives change so much that we'll miss when the kids are gone or Max is gone, that it'll be like, oh, that's a bummer. Like,
oh my God, when Sarah first left, and even now, because it's been over a year, like, especially on the weekends, we're like, what the fuck did we used to do? Like, what did we do with all this time now? Yeah. Like, it freaks us out that our whole day isn't that.
Around that.
And
because you change your life so much.
You change it so much, right?
That, like, and hopefully at some point you enjoy that change, right? Like, you're like,
totally you do.
Like, this is great. Like, I like having, I always used to wonder why parents get so crazy before I had kids. Like, when the kids leave, isn't it awesome? Like, you have the office
Bill
back
Cosby
or whatever.
syndrome,
But like, my mom was super bummed when her kids left and everything. And it's probably because you adapt and you changed and you enjoy that part of your life. And then
it's
these
over.
kids come, they're vampires, they suck your life force out of you. You have to like, give in to your captors and enjoy it, and then they walk away and then they hate you for it.
Right, that's right. And now you're older too.
Right.
So, we have the house to ourselves again.
Oh, God.
But we're in our early 50s.
Yeah.
So we're not going to go to a nightclub in the city like we did when we first met.
Right.
Well,
so we have the time back, but all we want to do now is go to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's
terrible.
reality, man.
We do the zoo. We like going to the zoo.
Jesse just went to the zoo with Max yesterday.
Zoo's great.
Oakland Zoo?
We went to the San Francisco one because it's 5 minutes from the house.
We go to the beach with the dog.
Beach is
That
good.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, let the dog go run. It's his favorite thing to do. But Veronica's now getting a little too big. Like, she's getting heavy. Like,
Are you
I'm like,
you mean in the carrier?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because you can't take a stroller on a beach, so you're just like sitting there.
I did that once.
You need like the big off-road tires or something.
When you take our stroller, we all have the same stroller.
Yeah, the
when you
Upper
take
Baby
that thing,
Vista.
yeah, when you take that thing on the beach, you then have to take hours and hours and hours with a Q-tip getting the sand out of the bearings on the wheel.
You are taking way better care of your stroller.
I took it on the beach, and it was bad.
It's just grinding.
It was a horrible mistake.
Our stroller is like it got caught in the garage door when it was closing. It's like it's got.
You're supposed to have a
Hopefully not
thing
with
that
the baby
prevents that
in
from
it.
happening.
Yeah, I don't know how. Well, it was because the handle was higher than the like laser at the bottom or whatever. So it's like missing some of the foam on it.
No.
I think we cleaned it the first 3 months, and then it's just like whatever. It gives it character.
Oh, you're supposed to clean them?
I think you're supposed to like wipe the seats and stuff.
We just
yeah.
took the baby insert out, like the white part, the seat thing.
Oh yeah, we don't have that.
No,
it's
well-
just like the vinyl, right?
Yeah,
The-
now it's just the vinyl. It looks so industrial and big kid. It looks
I
like
gotta get.
It's just Cheerios caked in every crevice.
no,
I
we
gotta
don't
get-
give her the O's.
What?
I know.
I gotta get that second car seat.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
The-
That's the stage.
it's a bummer because it's hard to get the kid out of that.
You know what?
Like the one that doesn't turn into the bassinet.
I think that one's a lot easier. I think the big ones are like we got a Foomf.
I'm sorry.
Foomf. Kid seats have good names. And we took her to the store where they had all the car seats lined up.
Yeah.
And
Did you have her test them
and
like
we
a
just,
trying
like-
to bed?
yeah, literally we put her in, we took each one out to the car.
What?
Each of the ones we
Wow.
were looking at.
Wow.
Where did you go?
There's a place on Sacramento in the city that they're like, yeah, that's where you leave your driver's license, come back, blah blah blah. So we took them out. I didn't do like a solid real install, but I hooked it in because
Yeah.
Gina has a bad back, and we wanted to make sure that we weren't going to get something that she was going to have to like lean over and wrench.
Yeah. You get that orbit thing that like swivels or turns, right?
That thing, I see those people and I think they're crazy because that is a $1,200
Yeah.
stroller.
What?
my
Hey, it's a
God.
Yeah.
system, man.
It better be a fucking more than a system
I
for
think
that
it
much
like
money.
That's
I
a lot
think
of
there's like a
money.
rail
Yeah.
or something. Like it turns and then like slides out to the
Oh,
door.
yeah.
Yeah.
For something that you're not going to use that long in your life.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
but-
unless you
but
have multiple kids. I
Now
guess.
you use the car seat for a long time because the one that we got is good until she's like 65 pounds or something. Which is until she's 5, and I think they have to have a booster seat until they're 8 now or 10.
Yeah,
Really?
like one
Yeah.
of those like 8-point harnesses or whatever, the 5-point like Batman seats.
Yeah,
Right?
You're supposed to reverse face until they're almost 40 pounds now.
Wow.
And that used to like before we would have flipped the kids around, but you're like Max would be facing forward now.
He is facing forward now.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck.
Well,
Everything's
I
gone-
told you he's like 97 pounds.
He's 97 pounds,
97
really?
pounds?
No, he's like
It's a
98.
big 2-year-old.
No, he's like 35 or something.
yeah.
like
So
that.
then he's in the yeah.
Years old.
Yeah, that's a fast year.
It was well, I'm telling you, man, 1 to 2 is a real slog.
Oh,
But yeah, he's facing forward, and facing forward is awesome.
yeah. That makes. Does he climb in himself?
Yes,
That's good.
Yes, we got the Maxi Cosi.
Oh, that's nice, yeah.
It's got these crazy giant like
Yeah, it's all poofy.
head side bag things. But
Looks
it-
like there should be some speakers up there for him.
yeah,
Yeah.
But everything he sits in is basically it is the color of Cheerio dust.
Mm.
Do you guys think that parenting has advanced like since we were kids? Just listening to you guys talk about all this equipment.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Because like we never had any of that, right? Like our parents just like shoved us in the back of the car.
Like no car seat.
Yeah,
like
I
when
didn't
you
have
were
a car
when you were a
seat.
little
But
kid.
I had a
Time-
car seat, but I was the first. I was on the beginning wave of that. Like my dad's friend was a car dealer and was like, "You should get one of these things for your kid. It keeps them safe in a crash."
We just piled back in the back of the station wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we kind of did that, but like we definitely. I remember a car seat, but it was almost like one of those like bouncer things, and my mom would just like put it in the front seat and like have it sit there.
I'd probably say fear is higher than it used to be. With the internet, you
Life
can
is
now,
more precious
yeah.
now.
Just as it was probably different than, like our parents when they were in the, 50s and 60s or something, because they didn't know that they like the guy next door was like a horrible dude or something.
Yeah.
Then you
sure.
had television, which told you about
Right.
it.
And now we can look it up on the internet. We know that he whips his penis out at
Yeah.
playgrounds.
But like my kid's using the same high chair I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like wild.
That's really
to me.
cool.
And it's like,
That's
this
cool.
thing just works pretty well.
Right.
It's- yeah,
does it have
this is
straps?
good. It's got a middle strap.
But she's not like 5-point harnessed in.
No,
but she
she's just
escapes.
it's a wooden thing. You could take the
Oh
top
my
off
God.
of it. It's got like metal. She could probably like snap her finger in it. But
Yeah.
like it's great. It's like, oh, this totally works. Oh, all right.
I mean, we
it's a
turned
piece
out
of wood.
okay.
Yeah.
We were fine.
The-
Sort of.
When we were at the hospital, when she was born, the delivery nurse had been working there for 37 years. She started working the year that I was born. Because we had this conversation, and we were talking. There's a lot of time in the lead up, and we were talking about how things had changed from the time she started until now. And like when she started, it was the dad stood out in the hall and smoked
Yeah,
cigarettes
yeah.
and paced. And now it's, the whole family comes into the room and it's a magical event for everyone. Things change dramatically. Even the like what you're supposed to do with everything has changed in the last 10 years.
I think that's where my wife got pissed off. I think I've told this story of like, I think there's also a romanticized version of that too, where it's just like, well, now everything is awesome. Like, go to the hospital and like everybody's gonna come in and it's magical and it's gonna be fantastic, instead of the chaos and blood and operations that ensue.
And ketamine.
Yeah, and like drugs and stuff. That's just like, I remember when she was done, she was like, "That was not magical. That was, I mean, our beautiful son, but like, that was like excruciating and horrible. And there's no, it's not rainbows and like prancing ponies. Like, it's still giving birth, and like
You still have to squeeze something out of you.
Mentally, I was still pacing around smoking cigarettes outside because it's super stressful.
But also imagine
Think of how much better you would have been if you'd been able to smoke cigarettes outside.
just right
30 feet from the door, please, sir.
but just like in the actual operating room, just like ignoring my wife.
The OB is down there between
Yeah.
in the corner.
the cigarette
You
dangling
guys
from his
done
lips.
yet? Oh, my Twitter feed's getting
on.
boring.
I got one here. Hey, do you mind knocking that ash off?
Yeah. So hold on, honey, I'm gonna get a picture of this. The guys
put
want to
your
see
leg
it.
up.
Yeah. Come on, thumbs up, big thumbs up.
Give me a smile.
Oh my god.
Oh, Christ.
You have to imagine though, it's much easier the second time.
I would hope so. I mean, I think it would be to know what's expected, right?
Yeah.
And the thing we always heard was like, be flexible. Like, you might have the ideal scenario in your head, but like, just be flexible.
Birth plans are bullshit, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, like having a plan is good, but like the first thing on that thing should be like, be flexible, right?
Yeah.
Because, and I'm just having a lot of friends who've given birth now. Does not seem like anybody has the same experience. Like, everybody
Yeah, it
has
was a piece of cake. We just were in and out, 2 days.
right. Just turn the switch, baby comes out.
Yeah.
But it seems like everybody has their own thing, and that's what I learned going in there was like, oh yeah, this is not nature's kind of figured it out, but the part where it's just like you're pregnant, you're going to give birth, and then humans are still tricky.
Yeah.
There's a reason doctors still do this, or midwives, or whatever, whatever.
Doctors.
A professional,
You
somebody.
should-
Barbers.
Doctors, yeah.
Barbers.
Your dentist,
Yeah,
yeah.
your dentist.
But let me say this. I've said a lot of kind of tough stuff. I am having the best time of my life now with Max. Like, he's super fun. I love him to pieces. It's what makes me worried about introducing him, wanting to shield him from the real world. I'm
Yeah.
going to be that dad. I can tell already.
Well,
the
they-
one who's like, like, you're going to make mistakes, and like, I just don't want to see you make them. Like, I just don't want to see you
And they
interact
have,
with bad people.
at the age that they're at, that our daughter is at now, she takes such glee in everything. It's like she sees something and she's like,
Yeah.
and she's happy and she points at it and she's afraid of a flower and then she smells it. She's like, oh, that smells good. I like flowers. And then she grabs a rose. And she's like, that's pretty, but it smells good. You don't want to see that go away.
And it's the reason I can sit there and spend 8 hours playing with
Yeah.
cars is because that's makes him so happy. Like, that's all he wants. And like, that'll go away once he's like, I want
Right.
a
Give me
boyfriend or
another
a girlfriend
rock of
or
crack cocaine.
yeah. It also made me realize, I was talking with Jesse and I was like, as the paths open up, right? It's like, if our son were gay, right? And
Yeah.
just be like, I had such a hard time imagining parents who resist that so much, considering how much stuff you have to go through and all the worrying you have in parenthood to be like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the thing that's going to fracture and sever this. Not the like, my God, I'm glad he's healthy, or like he
Yeah.
made it to this age, or like you made it to 14. This is great. And then it's like, I prefer boys over girls. And like, that's the thing that's like, that's it. We're done. I'm never talking to you again.
Get the hell out.
Like, all the things that could possibly go wrong. It was very hard for us to imagine. And, everybody's got their personal opinions. I'm not trying to shove that down anybody's
Way to
throat.
politicize the tested podcast.
But
Vinny.
it was something I was thinking about of like, gosh, if that's the thing, like, great.
Yeah.
We're fine. Like, not like I'm addicted to heroin or like,
there's 50 million terrifying diseases that you hear about every day.
right. Or like, again, like going through all the things I've seen other new parents go through, like, it can be tricky and complicated and like very scary and touch and go. Like, I've never had fear like I've had with thinking about stuff with my son now. Like,
It's just driving. Like
everything.
yeah.
Everything.
It's why we like the zoo. There's no cars.
Just wild animals.
Right. That's fine. They're behind a fence. The thing we found about the 8 hours of playing a day is that if we're bored, then we should go do something. Like strap into the car.
Yeah, you gotta get out of your house.
Like go to the pet store.
Yeah.
Right?
Pet
like,
store's fun.
She loves the fish.
Drive through Lowe's.
Yeah, Lowe's is great.
Stroller through Lowe's and let them smell the chemicals.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, shit, like
It's Home Depot for us.
Home Depot and Lowe's are fantastic.
Yeah.
The pet store is good. The zoo's great. Just
Supermarket.
going for a walk.
Yeah, anywhere,
anywhere.
really.
It doesn't matter. And that's good.
Puddles are fun. It's been raining. He's been really enjoying jumping around.
Yeah, we
in puddles.
don't really walk outside yet.
It's that gets tough too because it's the street and like the sidewalk and like
the street?
yeah, don't go into the street. Not allowed in the street.
Oh God.
That's where all the good puddles are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Like even like the cliche, like he's got a sniffle. Does that mean he's got the plague? Like, when do we go to the doctor? It's like, no, it's a cold.
How many days without poop before you call the doctor?
Yeah, that stuff. That's tough stuff.
But what have you had the bump? Like you do a bump and you're like the doctor's checkup is 3 days from now, and you're like, oh man, we're gonna go there and they're gonna think that we were beating the child because she has a bruise in a weird spot or something.
No.
She fell.
He's covered. His legs are just covered in
Yeah.
bruises.
Yeah, I guess before she was mobile, it was a little more unusual. Now she's always a little bruised everywhere.
Yeah.
She fell on a pot lid the other day, and it left a really, really. It's kind of an amazing bruise. It's just like a horizontal line across her thighs. It's real
That is a weird one.
Yeah.
He falls down and like the fall down stuff is weird because I try not to do the like.
Yeah.
And
We have to like. It's hard not to though.
And I just want him because I don't want him to do. I have seen him do the kind of like look over at you and see like,
Right.
should I be concerned about this fall? And I try to do the kind of like, ha ha, you fell down, huh? So yeah, I did. Max is a goofball. He's like, Max a goofball.
He's like, there's a nail poking through my hand, man.
You don't want to give
It
them
really
the,
hurts.
Yeah, you don't want to give them the cue that they should be freaked out and crying
Yeah.
out.
All right, because they look for it.
Because they'll look for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's hard.
Yeah. Well, and you have to
You're
make that
okay.
split second
You're
decision,
fine.
right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to, if they're actually really hurt, to not go over and help.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that nail sticking out of your forehead.
Yeah.
We
Not-
do
whatever.
we do the kiss the boo boo thing of like, is Max okay? Max okay? You have boo boo. I hit my head. Like, do you want to kiss it? Yes. And then it's magically all better.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
And then spinning around, tearing down knives, and running around doing whatever kids do.
Do you guys? We have some questions. We
Oh,
have some
sure,
letters.
yeah.
All right.
Oh, sure.
Letters. Scott Reeser wrote into podcast@tested.com with a subject line that indicated this was for dads. And he said, I'm going to be a first-time dad in a couple of months, and I've loved the cast so far. You mentioned a while back that you and your wife were experimenting with different types of diapers, and I was wondering if you happen to make a spreadsheet about which ones to use when and which ones to avoid at all costs. We're apparently going to try some of the cloth diapers with inserts only while we're at home and disposables otherwise, but I didn't know about keywords to pay attention to when shopping, like cruisers or swaddlers or whatever. Also, are there any funny stories about times when you were taking care of your kid while either you or your wife or both were sick? It already sucks taking care of a puppy while sick, so I can't imagine how dreadful it is with a baby, too. The diapers thing, I think each kid's different.
Yeah, you're probably overthinking it if you get to that point. Like, you're either going to use something that they can use and it's great.
Oh, you'll
Or-
know immediately.
Yeah, if the poop
Yeah.
doesn't stay in, just do something else.
Check your gussets, man.
Gussets out, right?
Gussets
The
out.
only good
Yeah.
thing, which pretty much everybody knows,
Some people go gussets in. They're fucking crazy.
That's crazy.
the
Yeah.
nighttime diapers are great. You
Well-
know, like having a seperate nighttime diaper versus the
Yeah.
daytime diper.
We, especially since she started sleeping like 12 hours, we had to go. We just go a size up, basically.
Yeah.
Because the nighttime diapers irritated her. So what you'll find, the places that we found stuff breaks is either the chemical that they use to turn the liquid into a gel irritates their skin. They leak. The poop comes out.
Poop will come out.
Yeah.
And it will come out. This is just going to happen.
There will be poop.
Yeah, it's unusual though at this point. Once you get into solid foods, things start getting a little better.
I would say more important than your diaper selection is to have like handy wipes at all stations
Sure.
of your house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything
It's just
or
useful.
everything will become a wipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also you can get sample sizes of diapers. So you can get like a 4-pack or a 6-pack or something. You don't have to buy 30. So you can get a bunch of those and try
Yeah.
different ones rather than spend, because they're like $10 for a 30-pack. or something. They're expensive.
We were lucky. Max has thighs like the size of tree trunks,
That
kind of
helps.
like me. So it's just a seal. It's a
Yeah.
tight seal.
Yeah.
He the for the preemie stuff, or not the preemie stuff, the newborn stuff.
Yeah.
The pea strip was really cool. The yellow,
The blue,
or blue, whatever it
Yeah.
is. Like, because
The yellow turns into blue.
Yeah.
because it was just like he was not in clothes; he was in a diaper most of the time,
Yeah.
so you can just kind of see it. That was really cool. We tried the cloth diapers for a while with the inserts, and then it just got to the point. And we did the same thing: travel with disposable diapers. We'll do cloth at home, and we did it until he got out of newborn diapers, and then it was time for us to move on.
The thing that we learned about diapering recently that we were messing up on consistently was the amount of diaper stuff that you put on. So this has probably changed in the time since you've dealt with this. But instead of using zinc oxide or something like that, now you use Aquaphor
Yep.
or a Vaseline-y looking substance.
Did you guys wind up using that a lot? Your kids have like diaper
So
rashes?
she just had a actual yeast infection.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, from it. So we actually got a prescription cream, and then you put the Aquaphor
On
and
top.
that kind of stuff on top.
But
So,
do you do that like every diaper
Every
change?
time.
Really?
not every time. It depends. The prescription stuff you put on like twice a day.
Yeah.
So you do it once a night. But the bad part that we had is she just poops at night. She's been pooping at night for like.
And does she not wake up? Usually a poop at night will wake up for
won't
us.
wake up.
Oh.
So she'll sleep through it. So first thing in the morning, I'm picking her up, and so that's just the reason she's getting it. And but it's nothing like terrible.
no.
So
We
So we do the Aquaphor. Well,
we
with girls
never
it's
used
different though
anything.
too.
Yeah.
Because no, it is.
they can get in their junk.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to wipe down.
Yeah. Right,
Super
right.
important. Louis C.K. nailed that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you when you start having the first sign of like pink bottom, we thought we were putting a shitload of the diaper stuff on, and when we actually had bad diaper rash and had to go to the doctor for it, she was like, "Well, this isn't the worst I've ever seen." It's like, oh, man, that's not good.
But you're up there.
Yeah, we were up there. She grabbed basically, like, she was like, first off, don't bother with the squeeze tubes of the stuff because that's not enough. Just get the big tub.
Jeez.
And she basically grabbed like a fistful.
What?
Of it was like the size of maybe it was a shit. It completely filled the crack.
Like a lifeguard at the beach on his nose.
Way more than that. It was enough that there was
Like you're spackling?
You couldn't possibly have rubbed it in. Yeah, it's like if you punch a hole in the wall
Yeah.
and you need to spackle through the
Yeah.
hole, and you just keep putting the spackle in. It's like that.
You spackled your baby's butt.
So when you finish with the butt, it's like a solid, smooth surface with Vaseline or Aquaphor in the middle, and then that fixed the diaper rash in like 2 days. So
You sealed everything in.
that's what she said to do. She said if you don't put enough, it's gonna
Sure.
absorb, and then you're just gonna make her super moisturized, and she's gonna have big problems.
Right. You need a protective
in
layer.
the butt region. Yeah.
Wow.
So and that lasted all night. The poops are real weird after that.
I bet.
It's heavily lubricated, but yeah. So that's the diaper. That's my diaper pro tip. I can't imagine using the cloth diapers in the real world. It's bad enough as it is.
Did you ever try them at home?
No,
Okay.
we Gina and I both got to the stage of watching how you clean a cloth diaper on
Yeah.
YouTube, and when you got to reaming it out in the toilet, we were like, nope.
I think we made it like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and then we
it's a
switched.
real. You have to be a real special character too.
Yep.
And God bless the people who do it. But like
We had a diaper service, but even with that, we only made it.
I really liked the cloth diapers too until he got old enough to make real poops.
Yeah,
Right.
like once you get out of that first couple of weeks of milk poop, I can't imagine it's nightmarish.
They were awesome. They felt great. They were just like
soft.
they were. They were
Yeah.
great. And you could definitely tell when a kid had made use of a diaper. Dave, you just said you were talking about being sick, taking care of a kid.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible because I was definitely out, and it was bad. My parents were actually gone, so we'd been lucky the other times, like at your birthday party, where like we had parents in town, so we could just be like, "Look, we are both puking
Yeah.
and doing all kinds of bad stuff to get this kid away from us." So that was great, but. This past time I'd gotten real sick, and normally my wife and I will do the split C's on the weekend stuff, where probably like a Saturday we'll do like a full lock day, let's go do stuff together. Then Sunday we'll do, you take this time, I take that time. And when it came to that time, I was like, look, I'm sorry. I know you like need your time, but I'm like, I just can't be around her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be around her right now.
Yeah.
You know? And I felt real bad because I just went and laid down on the couch and like threw on Netflix. And it was like the most guilty
Look
thing
at
that
you.
I
What
felt.
a selfish,
Oh.
indulgent.
I know. It was so bad. And so I sat because I couldn't be around her.
Right.
Because normally you do that thing where it's like, oh, you can't play with her for an entire day, so let me get out of the house and take her someplace. And like, you can't get out of the house, so you're just sitting there. So sometimes it happens, and you just got to take, you got to take over.
It's just the way it goes.
Those times.
This is why, again, a lot of respect to anybody who is doing this as a single parent.
I can't imagine.
Because if you don't have the option to hand off, boy, oh boy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's when not letting the child watch TV most of the time really
Falls
pays
apart?
off because it's like magic.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like she's like, this devil box is amazing.
Right.
It sings songs to me.
Do you have a plan for introducing TV? You're just holding off?
I was kind of
we
thinking
don't-
about just not.
Ever?
Yeah, why not? What has TV done for me?
Well, Max actually really, he picks up a lot of stuff now. Like, he's learned, he can count.
Like True Detective?
He like True Detective, he can solve crimes.
Okay.
Things-
Does
Matthew
he know what
McConaughey's-
Carcosa is, actually?
He does. He's kind of got his own theories.
Figured it out? Okay.
He's got like his alphabet cards pinned to a wall with like string between
You
them.
notice if there's a party at the Moon Tower.
Yeah. He engages with it now, which is really interesting. Like, and there's stuff like a lot of kids' TV now is patterns, which I didn't realize. It's not just like alphabets and learning. It's like circle, circle. What comes next? And like square. Okay, circle, circle. What comes next? And I guess that must be some
So it's like
developmental
Simon
thing.
or something?
It's like pattern based. I guess they
Okay.
want kids to recognize patterns. And
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think TV is evil. It's just like everything. It's
Yeah.
an everything in moderation kind
Right.
of thing, and having limits and rules.
Well, this rolls into the next question. So John Worthington wants to know, will you limit the amount of technology your children are exposed to as they grow up? Jeff, you want to go first with this one?
Well, the way that we did it was when she was old enough to where she wanted to do these things. And, we didn't introduce TV at all. And we were really happy that when she was old enough, like 5 and older, that like she knew what TV was. Her friends had TV and they learned that shit at school. So even in your best intentions, once they're off at school,
Yeah.
forget it. But her default was always, I'm going to read. And instead, even if sometimes she would want to watch TV, and also because the way my wife and I watch TV is we just watch we watch things that we want to watch. Like, we don't turn on the TV just to turn on the TV. Like, that's how I grew up. The TV was
Yeah.
always on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the default was, we got nothing to do. Let's see what's on. But we still don't do that. It's like, we're going to turn it on because we're going to watch True Detective. Right.
Directed watching.
So she never developed that habit either. Well, I'm just going to see what's on. But to answer the specific question, what we did was we had screen time. When she was old enough where it was an issue, we would say you can have 1 hour a day of any digital
got it.
appliance.
Huh.
So
Okay.
it could be 40 minutes of the computer, but then 20 minutes of TV. So that's how we made that rule. You get 1 hour of screen time.
But I got to imagine as they get older, it's less of an issue. I'm
when
sure.
they get older, then you...
Yeah, because they need the screen time to do homework and
Oh,
stuff.
sure. Once she was like in school, and I even mean like elementary school, because even in elementary school these days now they're using computers, which is weird to me anyway. But
I know kids who are in like 4th grade that get homework assigned by Evernote.
yeah, exactly right. Like, she had homework waiting for her on like the school's website.
It's bananas.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how Nicole is too, because
Yeah.
she's studying to be a teacher, so she's doing all her homework through a website.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Wow.
it
Right.
just blows our minds.
Yeah.
Right. It's really free.
There's a talk about a growth market.
Yeah, but there definitely was a point where we had to limit it. And once she was like 12 or whatever, and that was when she started playing WoW, basically because of me, and like she was in her own guild. She was a guild leader, but like then it was like really, we needed to limit it.
But Dad, I'm in Molten
I had-
Core.
I'm in a raid.
I had a talk. I met like this this couple out for drinks last Friday. My parents had taken the kid away, and they were talking about their kid, and they're like, "We're kind of worried about our kid. He's playing Minecraft and making all these videos and stuff. And so I was telling them like what I do. And so they were asking, they were like, oh, you actually know what all this stuff is. Can you tell us like what should we be worried about? And I was like, well, like what's your kid's involvement with all this stuff? And they were like, well, you know, he's got his own server and he's putting up these YouTube videos. And I'm like, what age is he? And I'm like, is he, you know, doing other stuff? Does he care about girls? And I'm like, let me tell you, all right, your kid is probably like what I was, you know, back then. I'm like,
nerd.
Let me explain that you should be high-fiving.
Right.
Because if your kid is running a server and he's doing these videos, think of it as your kid is the mayor. He's not only got to start and play this game, he's got to like get people interested to come and do what he wants on the thing. And if he's doing these videos, they'd actually read up enough on YouTube to understand like how, I guess he was getting approached by like Machinima or something like that.
Wow.
How old is the
It's
kid?
PewDiePie.
Like 14.
Oh, wow.
And so like they were like,
maybe not.
to us it looks like this could be exploitive. They're trying to get
Yeah,
child labor. And
yeah.
I'm like, let me tell you right now, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Like it is exploitive.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to get your 14-year-old to do this kind of stuff. But I'm like, here's the great part about it. Your kid right now is learning that like he's doing all this work and somebody else is going to make money, and he's like getting these very early like economic sort of ideas taught to him, and they like walked away and they were like, this is amazing. They're like, will you come over and like talk to our kid? I'm like, no, because there's no way that I'm going to be able to get your kid to talk to girls. Because like that's all they wanted was like to get him, you know.
You're gonna wingman the
Yeah.
14-year-old.
You should totally go over and then be like, signed your kid up for a 3-year contract on YouTube. Thanks, guys.
But it was kind of cool to like listen to those stories, which I'm sure
Yeah.
were very similar to like,
Sure.
hey, you're in a guild, we've got to meet at this time.
Sure.
Like the nice parts about it are they have to be organized and there's a social dynamic that they learn.
There was
Like,
absolutely part
yeah.
of that when she was in the guild and she
Yeah.
was a guild leader. And you know, I knew this stuff and my wife didn't. And all she knew, not being a gamer, is like my kid is in this game, like
For
fucking
10
around,
hours a day or
right?
whatever,
And I
yeah.
was like, no, actually, like listen to what I'm telling you and pay attention to what she's doing in this guild. Like it's kind of phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like she was arranging events, she was getting everybody to show up.
She manages the money.
Yeah, these were
Making
like
sure
real
that they had
skills.
the stuff that they
Yeah.
needed, the herbs
The
that they needed to
potions.
raid.
Yeah.
It actually wasn't bullshit. Like, it really wasn't bullshit. Like, partly you could go like, oh, sure, yeah, it's educational.
Yeah.
Right? But it really was, right? Those were real skills.
There's a social aspect of that is important.
Yeah. I mean, not 100% of the time, all the time.
Yeah.
Sure, of course. But, yeah.
Well, I think that does it for me.
No more questions?
Well, we have one more, but I
do it.
Okay. Craig Wilson asks, I had a question that you had. Oh, blah blah blah. As a soon-to-be dad, I was wondering what sort of tech have you found to be indispensable in the first few years of your kids' lives? My wife and I have started a list that includes things like forehead thermometers and baby monitors. What sort of tech have you guys found to be lifesavers early on that we should plan on picking up? None of that shit kind of matters.
Trying to think if there's any definite stuff.
The stroller
I'm
is
totally
a good
with you.
buy.
Oh, yeah.
The getting
Yeah.
a car seat that was easy is super important.
Yeah.
The baby monitor.
I never used it.
So the crazy part of me, like when you're sitting on the couch and you haven't heard anything and the baby starts sleeping for more than 3 hours at a chunk or 2 hours at a chunk or whatever, and you're sitting there and you're like, you have the video monitor and you just end up staring at the baby show in the video monitor. You're like, has she moved? Is she still breathing? Is she alive in there? What's going on? Because that's the fear, right? That's the reason you buy the baby monitor. Is a lot of the stuff is to allay the anxiety that you have that
Yeah, so
something
you're
might
not
happen to your
hovering
child
over a crib.
Right, so you don't take your shoes off and have to tiptoe into the room and you're like,
But what
I
I
saw her
found
chest
is
move.
you don't end up doing that if you don't have it.
that's the point.
Yeah, that's right.
I wonder what would have happened if we did not have the video monitor. We probably would have gone out and bought one of those things you put underneath the mattress that detects motion.
So we had that too, because
Okay.
we started with like the sound and the mat thing.
Yeah.
And we used it for a week, and we were like, we can hear when she's crying. Like, we just turned it off.
it's the lack of crying that's the scary part.
No, but that's like you don't have that. You don't have that fear if you don't have those.
I
things
think you
around.
guys are a lot less anxious than Gina and I are.
I guess.
But on the
I was
other hand,
pretty
it also
anxious.
gives the
Yeah.
kid, it gets the kid used to a lifetime of being watched.
That is a
by
valuable skill.
Microsoft,
Yeah.
by the NSA,
Right. Valuable
having a
skill.
camera on you at all times.
Behaving as if you're being watched all the time is a
Right.
perfectly good thing to know.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Sad.
I'm
Makes you angry.
like pump stuff was definitely very took a while to like look for like breast pump stuff, and
So-
like that was an interesting journey, and that stuff could be expensive
But
too.
well, not anymore because it's free now.
Oh, it's
Oh, thanks,
healthcare.
Obama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
right.
Yeah.
Wait, they're all free?
Yeah, you get it. You
If you have
everybody
insurance, I assume.
Everybody has
ours
insurance
was
now,
free
Vinny.
through that, but like the process to get it was so like gut wrenching.
They've
terrible.
fixed that now because I was talking to somebody the other day who got one. They were like, "Yeah, it was like they gave it to me on the way out of the hospital." I was like,
Oh.
wow," because it would have
Wow.
taken. The pro tip that I have that Gary's wife told us on the breast pump is to rent the hospital one
Yes.
because some people they just don't work for.
Yeah.
Um,
Those are
and-
like industrial grade.
Yeah, and had we done that, we would have saved $300. But now
Right.
since they're free, it's less of an issue, I guess.
Right. We bought stuff. Yeah, we bought so many gadgets and doodads that we just never used, and even stuff that you think you want, like the bouncer seat or like a pack and play. Like he never used the pack and play. He had a bouncer thing. He never used that.
So we use the pack and play when we travel. Like she sleeps in that when we're on the road when we go someplace, which is great. He didn't like the jumper room. She goes bonkers with the jumper
The
room.
door thing, the thing you put in a door.
No, the thing that's like a disc that they stand in with springs.
No, I'm talking about the thing they lay in and they kind of like rock. Like
Oh,
when they're
the
very
swing.
little. Well, it's like
Yeah.
a little bouncy.
Realize
Oh.
those little things, either the jumper type thing or any of those things, they last 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
On
take up a
the
lot of
side,
space in
yeah.
your garage.
And it does depend on the kid, right? Sometimes they just can't handle it.
Yeah.
And hate it or whatever.
Yeah, nothing else like tech wise. Like I never got a bottle washer or anything like that.
I think I probably would have wanted a bottle washer.
Bottle washer
Yeah.
would have been it. We bought a drying rack. That was good. That thing that you put like the plastic stuff in the dishwasher, it's like it's a snap-in thing that has a rubber mesh on each side, so you can put like pacifiers
yeah.
and nipples and stuff like that in. That's great. That thing's amazing.
A good diaper pail.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably where.
What's your diaper pail?
Oh, right.
It's probably it's not a diaper genie.
That's what we got.
Okay, but it's something else. I love the system it uses.
Yeah.
We try to use it. It's I don't know, the bags smell.
No shit.
Yeah, well, no, a lot of shit, and then like, but like we tried to get bags. Here's the stupidest thing, right? The bags are recyclable, right? Because we felt bad, and the diapers are supposedly recyclable, right?
It's a lie.
Right, but they go in the
my
trash.
Nespressos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they go
Yeah.
they go in the trash anyway. So I think the compromise with these recyclable bags is they don't use whatever awesome super technological chemical would keep the poop smell out. So that thing just kind of stinks.
So the diaper genie doesn't smell, which is pretty good. Occasionally, I'll drop like one of those baking soda discs down in the bottom,
Oh, that's smart.
like between the bag and the pail.
Yeah.
But it has like a double clamshell thing, so it seals two ways, and it works pretty well. The other thing that Gia and I learned late was that the smaller you make the diaper
knot?
pellets,
Oh.
like
yeah.
like when you're sealing that up, you want to make it
Yeah.
as small as possible,
Yeah.
so you can get maximum diapers in the pail.
That's a good tip. Actually, like I didn't know about this until a little later in the game. Was the like when you're done with the diaper, use the Velcro, like roll that thing up and then seal
Cinch
itself.
it, make it as small
Yeah.
a thing as you can.
Do you put the like when you're changing a diaper? Do you put the new diaper under the dirty diaper
of
as
course,
you're changing?
yeah. And you
I've
use
seen some people who don't do that.
I don't
I'm
do that.
like,
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a magical thing.
Yeah, because then the butt just goes straight down. If there's a
Yeah.
release, then you're. But he has a boy, so he's gonna spray.
Yeah, maybe that's different. I do the like hook the two ankles between
Yeah,
my
I
fingers.
still do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
and,
And then
just
you
like hold
slide,
up like
yeah.
this. But like
You
keep
put the
them up
diaper
there.
down before you even take the pants off.
Oh,
The new
wow.
diaper's on the table before she hits
wow.
the
Yeah.
floor.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh,
And
we
then
never did that.
and then you use the old diaper if there's poop. You use the old diaper to wipe the poop away, the big pieces, so you don't have to use like 16 wipes.
And then you keep the air holding the ankle thing, wipe the butt, and then you just drop them. They're on the They're on the.
and then you get the
Diaper.
fistful of lube and
Yeah.
just smear it
So you
on,
don't
and you're
really
good to
do any of
go.
that stuff. Who's the bad? There's got to be somebody in each household. Who's the bad diaper person? Who's the one who's going in there and like taking the stick and just pushing the diapers down deeper into the pail? And
One
will
of
not
us
change
changes
it?
the diaper pail, and one of us
we're
does
bad.
not.
I've said this. We're bad. We will we'll sometimes go like a half day with just diapers on top of the bed.
nice.
Oh, man.
Doesn't
Change
Dean
that
go for
diaper
that?
pail.
Huh?
Chloe thinks that the diaper pail is the most interesting thing
No.
in the house.
No, Dean doesn't care.
The stroller was a really good buy. Like
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy to spend because we spent like those strollers were like $600 or $700.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it has a bassinet, and she actually slept in that
Yes.
bassinet for the first
Yep.
maybe 3 months of her life.
Which is what we did too.
And now it's got that huge basket on the bottom, which we
Yeah.
just fill up with everything.
Well,
Yeah, which
I go grocery
helps-
shopping
yeah,
with that. I don't
exactly.
use a cart. When I go to the
that's what
grocery
I
store.
do too.
I think it's a battle wagon.
That's very
Yeah.
helpful.
And when you go to the zoo or something like that, like when we went on the airplane actually, and we carried on, I want to say we carried on the pack and play, which was fucking crazy. But we carried on. Oh no, we carried on. You have to bring that bag to fold up the stroller, so that then if the airline destroys it, the company that makes the stroller will replace the stroller.
I don't think we have the bag.
The bag, it's basically an extended warranty that comes with a bag.
Okay. Does it come separate?
Yes.
You have
Okay.
to pay. It was $60 or something.
Okay.
And Gina got it because she was worried that they like
Yeah, it would wreck it.
yeah.
It's basically just a burlap sack.
But so we carried that. We carried a car seat. We carried the base for the car seat, and all of that stuff goes into the bag with the stroller. But like all of our carry-on luggage goes underneath the stroller when we're going through the airport or something.
Right.
So it's great. It's amazing. It's a huge bucket.
And that thing, that stroller thing, again, it's the upper baby.
Upper baby Vista.
It doesn't. It folds down really easily. It is a pretty nice stroller.
Yeah.
And the wheels are big and
They're easy to get on and off.
Yeah, easy to get on and off. I bought the gadgets I bought that I would not buy again. I bought a thing that cut fingernails, like a little sander thing, like a disc
oh
sander.
no, just
Wow,
use
a
a
Dremel.
baby emery board.
Yeah. So I would not buy that again.
We bought that for the dog and knew that was a mistake after that.
The in-ear thermometer is probably not a mistake, or like any of like the temperature thing. You probably do need one, but like we just never really
The
use
temple
it.
one.
The temple one is really hard to get an accurate reading on. Is the only problem
really?
with it. Yeah, the doctor told us that everybody that uses it, including most nurses, are doing it wrong.
Oh.
So
We have one of the in-ear ones.
that's what they told us to get, and
but
we got
like-
the temporal lobe one anyway because Gina thought she knew better than the doctor.
So like we probably should have it, but like we just don't use it.
Yeah.
Like knock on wood, right? Because hopefully. What other dumb gadgets did I buy? I will say the snot sucker was
The nose Frida.
Yeah, when you got to use the snot sucker, you got to use it.
Are you talking about just the ball?
No.
Or the
The
tube
hose.
thing.
Yeah, the tube.
That's right. We have used that too. That thing's
You have.
gross.
That's when they get really snotty. Like if it's just a little snotty, it doesn't do
Yeah.
anything.
I won't use that one. I'll use the other
Really?
one. Nicole uses the
Snot sucker.
I'm the
snot
only
sucker,
one
and
that
I'll
use-
help and I'll like hold it for her. But I'm not putting my mouth on the other end.
So-
of it.
Oh man,
So-
it's like a siphon.
Yeah,
It's not
It's,
siphon.
so it's like a big straw with a pointy bit on the end,
Yeah.
and then there's a filter, and then there's a mouth sucky part about a
Oh
foot
my
away.
god, no thanks.
And that
Yeah.
that tube just fills.
Oh, that's gross.
It has like a sponge
Yeah.
supposedly
That
to
doesn't
keep
fucking
the
do
snot away.
anything.
But
Oh
like,
my
fuck
god,
that.
forget
yeah.
fuck that.
So
Wow.
Also good come the apocalypse to get somebody else's gas out of their car.
she docks. Our baby, when we get that thing out, she sees it and she's like, I'm gonna be able to breathe. And you hold it up and she just goes, and puts her nose down.
Oh,
She loves
man.
it.
We
I
haven't
would
used
love
we
that.
used it like twice, and then
Oh.
I had to like leave the room anytime.
No,
somebody-
we've got to do.
There's always
like-
one person in the family that can do that.
It's a 2-person operation where I will like hold her head from the back and just like keep her like from not moving, and then Nicole will go in.
So that was actually a piece of gadgetry that comes in handy when you do
Yeah.
need it.
Yeah, if you need that thing, then it's good to have it. You don't
Yeah.
want to have to go out.
I think a carrier was important. Like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and I think I made a mistake on the carrier I got. The problem was it was too hard to get Max out when he fell asleep. Right? It was too hard to dismantle.
No, dude, they're
and-
all like that.
and transition.
I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, ours is real. We have an Becco Gemini or something like that.
It's all right. You just like lift this side, and then you can immediately get her out.
This was like very tough. Like his legs would seat, and he had a strap like this, and so you had to actually tension him out to get him out.
Yeah.
There wasn't just like a zip and plop.
So that's what this
so
one.
we have straps on the side; it'll just flop forward. But
Yeah, this one it just has like a clip. It's like a vertical clip like this. It's like a pin system. You pull it out, and then they're open.
Then
on
they're
that
open?
side, and then you just like go like that.
So yeah, I would say if you're gonna get a carrier, check that out because like the number of times that Max fell asleep and was like, I just had to like do a belly flop on the bed and then try and get the carrier off.
yeah,
Was tough. And we had the Moby wrap. Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah.
is that the head?
No,
for the,
it's like this African. You know,
oh,
like
yeah. We
that
we
whole thing.
returned that because we couldn't make it work.
I actually liked it. It was cool.
She used it for a bit, but then we never used
Yeah,
it.
we-
I think everybody's like romantic about using that
Yeah.
thing, and then they're like, No, I'll take the straps and the.
Well, after a while, he was just like too big for it.
Well, that's the carrier. The other thing about the carrier is you have to actually be careful because if you use it the wrong way, you can do nerve damage to their legs and stuff. Like they're supposed to rest on their butt and their legs are if they're facing out, which is how I like to ride with her.
Yeah.
Then their legs are supposed to be up so that they're not resting across the femoral artery and cutting off, and because that blocks that nerve and it can cause tingly legs and stuff like that. It's real bad. We hardly ever use that. Sleep sacks are great. Mm-hmm. The ones with the snaps on top are fantastic.
If you're getting pajamas, go for zippers rather than buttons.
I disagree.
No. You're wrong.
You get a preference. We do the snaps. We do the ones that snap across the legs and you pull over the head. And those are great because you change the diaper in like 2 seconds.
So hard to get them back on.
What world do you live in that snaps are hard?
Because there's probably, let's say,
the zipper you have to unzip the whole way.
Yeah, but you're just down
crazy.
And you're up. To get the snaps off is easy. You just break them out. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, oh, okay, I've got to
find each
do
pair.
it. The kid's squirming around with the...
Do you not have opposable thumbs?
I do, but the zipper, all you do is you put the one in the one side.
Yeah, but you got to take both legs out with the zipper?
Oh, no.
You got to take you got to take 2 legs out,
easy,
and the one that's on the long leg is always hard to get wedged back in there.
My wife takes the nights and I take the mornings. So every morning, I'm if I see the snaps, it's just this thing where I'm
We just do pants and shirts for sleeping now. Pants are even better because you say
yet.
Pantsers on.
We've got some of yours. You know what? That's probably why I got more snaps. Is because I got a bunch of your pajamas. He gave me some pajamas and there are a bunch of snaps. I'm why am I dealing with snaps all of a sudden? I will put on the reindeer pajamas. I don't care if it's out of season.
Yeah,
we gave you some reindeer pajamas.
No, you did.
They were pants and a shirt. The stuff like the Jumperoo and the busy centers and all that stuff. If you have friends or family that want to give you that stuff, just take it. Yeah, because you're going to use it for such a short period of time.
Never spend more than $30. Get the crappy one.
Yeah,
those.
And hold on. Listen to the music. Go to Target where you can hear the music.
Just take the batteries
get the ones
out.
with music.
No, that's the whole Jumperoo without music is no fun.
No.
The Jumperoo is the best song in our house. Lots of friends live on the farm. Come along and see.
Oh, man.
There's so much for us to do. Animals to see. Yeah, it's a great song. It's the best thing we bought.
I felt when we were having Max, we had a couple of people offer to give us stuff, right? And I felt it's real bad being oh, I'll give you money and I'll take this stuff. And now I realize that it is no, please, just take this stuff.
It's hard for us to get rid of it.
Corner of the garage. Stuff like the swing, that's great when they're really little. It'll give them a flat head if you use it too much. Then they have to wear the special helmet if you don't fix that soon enough.
You're on bad websites.
What? No, that's what the pediatrician said. She was the head's getting. Do you use a swing? What? We're yeah, we use a swing. What's wrong with the swing? She's well, she's got a flat spot on the back of her head. It's probably from the swing, so we had to stop using the swing.
I heard the door jumper thing is illegal now, or
there's a lot of that stuff.
And that he loved that thing.
We had a we had my Fisher Price xylophone from when I was a kid. That when you look at the consumer product safety site, there's 15 ways that can kill a child. The thing that my uncle says is that every single time there's a warning about something that's directed to children, that indicates a child died or was severely injured, and that has really ruined the way I look at warning labels now.
What did you think they were for?
I thought they were, it was just lawyers. I thought it was lawyers. I thought it was all lawyers.
Well, it is lawyers, right? It's the result of lawsuits.
Yes, that is true. And on that cheery note, I guess that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for coming out, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We'll be back at some indeterminate period of time in the future. Again, whenever we're needed, we'll be there. Like Batman. I'm going to stop the video now. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh, hold on. Is there anything to plug? Vinny, you're Vinny Caravella on Twitter?
Yeah, at Vinny Caravella.
And we can find you at giantbomb.ru or something?
We've
Game Bomb?
You can check .com, giantbomb.com.
Oh, giantbomb.com. Okay. Dave Snider.
The 5 people that are still watching.
Yeah, because I said the show was over.
Yeah.
My bad. Right.
Yeah, could go to Webhook and check that out.
Pro.com. .ws.
.com.
It's so old-fashioned.
.com.
Jeff Green?
At Greenspeak on Twitter.
Okay.
And Twitch TV/Green.
Are you still playing
I'm still
Dark
playing
Souls?
Dark Souls. I gotta hurry
Man.
up. I got a week left.
Where are you?
I think I'm at the final boss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That'll take
that's
a
what
week.
I've been told.
Okay.
It's the final boss. Yeah.
Do you feel like this is an experience that has changed your life?
It's been really interesting. Yeah, it's been amazing to see people actually watch.
The same people tune in every night. It's crazy. It's like TV
weird.
for them.
Yeah. And they get mad when I don't stream too.
Yeah.
You said you were going to.
Yeah.
I didn't know you actually cared.
I do
Find
care.
something
and I
else
do
to
get
do.
mad. This is all I have. And you, sir?
I'm at Will Smith on Twitter, or you can find me on this website or this YouTube channel, tested.com. We'll see you guys later.
Thanks.
Bye.